Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN as Carey moves so slowly to the camera.
You're not going to leave me this time. I'm right here with you.
Nice. There you go. Carey Davis, Super Bowl champion. Andrew Marsh here. Jamie's got the week off. You good?
I'm good.
I know this is going to be a good show because my headphones got caught on my keyboard 3 or 4 times as that music is playing.
Yeah.
And it's so important to hit the Let's Get Nasty on time. I almost threw the keyboard up against the wall.
Try to make sure you got to it.
I mean, come on. We got to get that Let's Get Nasty
You
out
got
on
to do
time,
it, right?
Marsh.
You have to do it.
204, by the way. 204, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Who's excited about the 2025 Winter Classic, boys?
I am.
Yeah.
You guys see me.
St. Louis Blues.
First of all, you
say
see
it
me.
again. Try it again.
Who's excited about the 2025 Winter Classic?
I am.
Yeah.
Woo! Now I feel it.
Now we're rolling.
It's going to be
exciting.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Wrigley Field, Blues,
What's the date?
Blackhawks. What's the date? I don't know.
I don't think they have a date yet. I
Well,
think
I'm asking,
schedule's not
I'm
released.
asking for practical reasons. Jamie, us, we should probably be there to take it all in. That's why I asked what date it was.
You're smart, Gary.
See, we don't want Jamie to be out there by himself. We're a team, and
Yeah.
it's a team of a brotherhood. We should all take in that game in Chicago collectively.
That's a great call.
I'm just saying, lad. Trust me.
Yeah.
so. I have looked this up.
Trust me.
So January 1st is usually when they have the Winter Classic. Sometimes it's on the 2nd due to other sports being on and they don't want to compete. But that is a Wednesday. January 1st is a Wednesday. The 2nd is a Thursday. So there you go. That's the date for 2025. But with college football expanding their playoffs, it could potentially not be on the 1st. So we'll have to see what's going on for the Winter Classic.
Illinois being a New Year's Six bowl, so I may not be able to. I'm
What's that
kidding.
again?
I'm kidding. I'll have plenty of time. I'll be there.
What better way to watch the Illini play than in Chicago?
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Carey,
saying.
I like your enthusiasm.
Should make it about the Illini. Oh, we got work to do.
I just like your passion.
Basketball. Yeah, we're good.
Maybe the basketball team will be playing.
Yeah, and maybe they'll play in Chicago. Maybe I can we'll drive down to Champaign on the way home.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be good.
That's a nice campus.
It
I've
is.
been there.
I love Champaign.
You and I were probably there at the same time. Different reasons, though. You were playing foosball. I was visiting friends.
Yeah, well,
I was there
would
for
say
New
this.
Year's one time.
We probably got to the same reason later that night.
Yeah.
And we probably crossed paths
We probably
at a bar or 3
Absolutely.
or 5. I don't know. Depends on how long you were there.
I can't remember. Are you guys done with the Winter Classic? I mean, obviously with the Blues, we're excited about it. But the idea of the Winter Classic, does it still grip you?
I think it's cool. I think it's cool
it's
for
cool,
the
too.
teams that are participating in it, the fan bases that are specifically, to have that moment, be in those different environments. I think it's pretty cool.
I do too.
Yeah.
And the Winter Classic here a couple of years ago was incredible. The city, the Blues, knocked it out of the park. From the uniforms, the backdrop, the execution of the events beforehand to the game, absolutely perfect.
I love our fans, our texters. It's on January 1st, you dopes.
Actually, the one that was here in Busch Stadium, was actually played on January 2nd.
There you go.
Okay. So there
Take
you
that.
go.
That's why I said sometimes it depends on.
Yeah, it bounces around.
It bounces around.
Are you good with the Winter Classic, Marsh?
I love it.
You're fired up
I
for
woke
it?
up to that information, and I was actually very shocked. But to see Chicago have it, that doesn't surprise me. It seems like they're in it every other year in some capacity.
It's like the fourth time or something.
I've seen a Cardinals
wonder why
Cubs
that
game
is.
at Wrigley, so I'm hoping I can get to this one, especially if all 4 of us are going. That'd be fantastic.
It's already set. We just have to talk to the powers that be. We should be there live.
I agree. We should sit
agree.
behind a pole too, just to really get the experience. Because I've sat behind a pole twice in my 2 times at Wrigley Field.
That's not good.
Did you? Yeah, both times.
That sucks.
I mean, it's part of the experience, right?
No, it shouldn't be.
You know, you got the guy on the mound, and I'm like, hey, throw. Oh, hey, okay, that's a
Marsh,
strike.
I don't think you should have put up with that at all.
Well, You know what, though? I went to the game that the Cardinals played the Cubs in late September. I forgot what year it was, but when Yadier Molina and Paul DeJong hit 2 home runs in the 9th inning, I was at that game. So sitting behind the pole, it was okay because the Cardinals ended up winning the game.
Nice.
Always.
Speaking of the Cardinals, PECOTA, their standings are now out, and PECOTA seems to usually, not always, but usually nail the Cardinals within a few games, within a few wins. There have been seasons where they have been off, but for the most part, PECOTA has done a good job of getting within a couple of victories for your St. Louis Cardinals. Do you guys want the good news or the bad news first?
Always bad news first. For me. Marsh, what do you say?
Yeah, I like looking at the negative and then spinning it into a positive.
Yeah. I'll give you guys the good news first. The good news
Do you
is...
want the glasses?
I don't know.
We wanted bad news first. You're going to give us good news anyway?
That's correct. The good news is that you're going to be improved.
Nice.
Remember how many wins you guys had last year?
71?
9?
71?
71?
You're thinking of the losses.
I'm thinking of the losses. 91.
Yeah, 91.
Yeah.
That was a bad year. 71. You improved big time. To 85.5 wins.
Yes.
Nice.
I don't know how you get to half.
Must be a doubleheader.
Must be a doubleheader. You
I don't know how that works.
You
but
tied halfway through the game, and you just said, there you go. 85.5 wins, 76.5 losses.
Love it.
Okay.
And just as Carey would have it be, they win the division. They get in.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, that number, getting to the bad news, pales in comparison to the 100.7 win Atlanta Braves, as well as the 101.1, hey, great number,
That is a great number.
That is.
LA Dodgers. But everybody else is kind of right there. Philadelphia actually has a worse PECOTA number at 84.3. Arizona, 85.2, so they're slightly below.
lower, yeah.
San Francisco's 81. Cubs are 80.2. The Cardinals, guys, PECOTA has winning the 3rd most games in the National League.
Now, that's impressive.
I don't know why you two are so down on them.
I don't know what you're talking about. Have
That's
you seen
impressive.
the veteran presence on this ball club?
You guys have been very negative about them. You keep saying that
Thank you, Carey.
there's more. I don't get it.
What did you say, Marsh?
Veteran presence on this ball club is definitely going to help this team improve. What was it? 71 to 85.5 wins.
Yep.
My math is correct. That's 14.5.
There you go.
That's a lot of wins right
a
there.
lot
And
of
you know
winning.
why? Because the bullpen is going to be way better than they were last year. And why is that? Because the starters are going to go deeper into games. That's why you go out and you get guys like Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson. And now you have, now you have Sonny Gray at the top of your rotation.
Yep.
This whole team looks like a completely different ball club. In fact, 14.5 win difference. That's a lot. Plus, you're the 3rd best team in the National League. I like that.
Marsh, while you have those glasses on, can you keep those glasses on for a second?
I'll put them back on. Man, it was tough.
I just got a question for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to your projections
yeah.
of your St. Louis Cardinals, is this a World Series contender?
I mean, Anthony, they're the 3rd best team in the National League. That's just in the regular
you're right.
season.
Yeah.
You get into the postseason, anything can happen. You win that first wild card round because, of course, you're not the top 2 teams, but that's okay, right? You're playing good ball heading into October.
I like it.
You win 2 games in a row at home, and you take that into the division series. I like this team right now.
Makes sense to
I
me.
like this team, especially because this computer just generated a bunch of wins for us.
Yeah.
And I like that.
And again, PECOTA's usually spot on, guys.
Big analytics guy.
There you go.
What did they have us at last year? Does
No
anyone
idea.
know?
Yeah.
We should probably look that up.
No idea.
Because-
we can look back.
Yeah, we should probably
You
find
know
out
what?
what
Hold
it
on.
was.
Let's do a quick goggle search here. 2023 PECOTA projections. I don't care how they're
I'll find
calculated. Let's see here. Cardinals 85.5 wins.
Anthony, it's a different year, right?
Same exact number. Yeah.
It's a different year.
So the same computers that projected 85.5 wins last year are saying, you know what? This is an 85.5 win
Must have had
projection this
malware
year.
malfunctions, right?
You know, it's fine. It's fine.
That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious.
They had him second behind Milwaukee, and we probably bitched.
The same exact number.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the Cardinals. Maybe they just plug in 85.5 and go about their
Probably.
day. We went
basically
back
the same
every
team.
year.
Doesn't matter what the names are. It's basically the same team every year.
Hey, you know what, though? In 2022, the projection was 79 and 83, and that ball club ended up being a 93 and 69.
There you go.
team.
Shove it, PECOTA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we don't need this math equation or whatever. We just need the guys on this ball club that are going to go out there and compete every single day.
Yeah.
Do their job.
Unless they had the day off, of course.
Of course, yeah, which happens frequently.
Or they're playing a different position.
Which happens even more frequently.
No. This year, we will play the same positions, have the same lineup. Consistency is the word that we're going to use for 2024. This team, listen, guys, I need you to understand the amount of work that they've done to prepare this team for the 24 season. We saw last year. It didn't go the way in which we wanted to. We still believed and had faith. However, 2024, not one, Anthony, not one, not two, but 3 new starters is what they brought in. You heard LeBron James. He said it first. I said it second. That's what they did.
LeBron didn't get it done.
He didn't, but we will. You got to understand. Don't worry about LeBron.
You brought him up.
We talking about practice? Don't worry about it. I'm just saying things. Yeah. Cardinals.
guy.
Exactly.
Win.
AI, PECOTA.
PECOTA. Do you see how it all came around? There we are.
No, not at all, actually. I'm even more confused by.
Chat GPT as the Cardinals winning the World Series.
There you go.
Yeah.
We punched it in. We put the words in, and it said that's what was going to happen.
Write 500 words on why the Cardinals are going to win the World Series. It's Fastlane on 101 to ESPN. More hijinks on your way. What problems could each team have on Sunday that could cost them the game? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Brandon Kiley, our guy, he was right there with us. He was listening. He's got the PECOTA projections for previous years. Now, we went over some of these. 2023, PECOTA had 86 wins, or 85.5. 2022 was 81. 2021 was 81. 2020 had the COVID year. 2019 was 86. And then I'll read the previous. 84, 76, 82, 89. So last time PECOTA was high as a kite on the Cardinals was 2015. 89. They won 100 that year, by the way. PECOTA has been within, and again, these numbers thanks to BK, they have been within 4 to 12 wins, between what they projected and what the Cardinals actually did. The other interesting aspect is that the Cardinals were plus 11 wins from what PECOTA projected them, plus 11, plus 4, plus 7, plus 4, plus 5, plus 9, plus 12. Last year was the first time
they were minus.
Okay. So they were 15 wins lower than what PECOTA projected them a year ago.
What the heck happened?
So if you're going on these numbers, I don't know what the average is of these numbers, but they're probably going to win about 90 games this year, boys.
All right.
Yeah.
Like
89, 90.
I like it.
For your old Redbirds.
It's exciting.
Or they could lose
Now, Marsh.
91 games again.
Marsh. Let's not. There's no need. There's no need.
I'm just saying.
It is possible.
It's a trend.
Okay, guys. Do you want me to go over it again? The first time negative wins last year in the last, 8 years. Okay? So enough of that. Super Bowl Sunday, right around the corner.
He wasn't wearing the glasses either.
49ers Chiefs.
It wasn't. That's crazy.
I'm throwing people off today. Being positive on the Cardinals. 49ers Chiefs, Super Bowl Sunday. Let's start off with Kansas City. What's the problem? If there's going to be a problem, what's the problem?
The problem that's been the problem all year. They don't know. They don't have people that can catch footballs consistently. That's been their problem. Defensively, they've been great. I said this yesterday. This is probably the best defense Patrick Mahomes has had his entire tenure as the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. The offense this is probably the worst offense that he's had his entire time as the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. So if there is a problem, somehow or another, San Francisco is getting after him. We've seen it happen in the past. We saw two different, versions of Patrick Mahomes struggling, really struggling in the playoffs. One, we were talking to Randy Carricker about it when they played the Buccaneers a few years ago in the Super Bowl. They were creating so much pressure. He was running around and had no time. The Cincinnati Bengals did it in another way. They rushed 3 and dropped 8 and let him sit there all day and figure out if he can find somebody open, and he was unable to do it that way. So there are a couple of ways to make sure that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have success. One, create pressure up the middle and get him off of his spot. I think that's dangerous because when he does that, he generally gets outside the pocket and Travis Kelce is somewhere open. But the way the Cincinnati Bengals did it, I thought they did a really good job. The only way that I think the Kansas City Chiefs have trouble is they don't catch the football, which they've done a lot this year. They haven't done it in the playoffs yet, but they've done it a lot this season.
I'm with you in that if it's going to be something that has showed up all season long, because why wouldn't it? But I don't have the drops. I have the second half struggles.
Okay.
This team, this season, scored an average of 7.6 points in the second half.
That's not good.
7.6. The Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Isaiah Pacheco, averaged 7.6 points per game. The only teams that were lower were the Jets, the Titans, and the Patriots. The Raiders had the same exact 7.6 average. That's terrible.
That's very bad.
So I don't know if it's a situation where you're always making adjustments, right? We overplay the halftime adjustments. Oh, it's a big halftime adjustment. Carey, you get in that, you get in the locker room.
You got 8 minutes.
Yeah, you're not making all. You have to make the adjustments during the game.
Yeah.
So teams are figuring out what to do to slow down the Chiefs, or they're just not executing. Andy Reid maybe getting away from the game plan a little bit, maybe going too pass heavy, which has been his problem in the past. Whatever the reason is, 7.6 is the average in the second half in terms of points. That's terrible.
That is.
So that is something. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they scored in the second half last week or 2 weeks ago against the Ravens, right?
They didn't.
All their 17 points came in the first half.
Yes.
You got shut out in the second half.
They didn't need the second half, Anthony.
Yeah, they played great.
Yeah, their defense was incredible. All they allowed was the Justin Tucker field goal with 2:34 left in the game. Speaking
Speaking of the defense, though, going back to that game against Buffalo, Tony Romo said it throughout the game. He's like, if you're a Chiefs fan, I'd be nervous right now based on how their defensive line was playing against the rushing attack of Buffalo. And Buffalo had 182 yards rushing that game. Baltimore only 81 last week. And we talked about Baltimore maybe not getting their guys, their running backs involved as much as they should have. Could you see the 49ers doing what Buffalo did and just running the hell out of CMC all game?
I think they have to. I think they have to stick with what works. And if you have Christian McCaffrey and he can get to the edge, and the Chiefs can't set it, then absolutely keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Shorten up the game. Limit the possessions in the second half. Continue to play with the lead, which is what San Francisco needs to do. If they can't run the ball, they're screwed. Bottom line.
San Francisco, I don't know that they have not been a team that can't run the football, though. They generally stick with the run. They're going to find ways to get Christian McCaffrey open space. That Green Bay Packer game is a prime example. The touchdown that finally broke it open was a Christian McCaffrey run, essentially right up the middle where no one was there. They find creative ways to make sure that he's able to have room in the running game. And to your point, if he is able to run the football in the manner in which they need him to, it's going to be tough for Kansas City to, especially if they're struggling in the second half in the manner in which they have. It's going to be tough for them to battle through this game. It's just hard. We talked about it. It's hard for me to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I just think he's the best player on the field. And unless they can get to him early and get to him often, it's still going to be a tough challenge for the 49ers.
You look at the trends of the NFC games that the 49ers have played in this season.
Is this the moon trends?
No, I'm not looking at the moon. Not today. That was
okay.
yesterday. I'll circle back to the moon on Sunday for sure.
Do. Yeah.
But you look at the 49ers and they played the Packers. They went down. They had to come back in that game. They played the Lions. They had to come back in that game. You talk about the Chiefs' second half problems. I wonder, though, if they do get down, if they can come back against this team who has been there, done that, compared to the Packers, who had a rookie quarterback, and the Lions, who were just
self-destructive.
They're self-destructive, right? And they haven't been in that situation ever, right? So I wonder if the 49ers can get away with that against a team that has won a Super Bowl. They've been there, done that.
Carey, I see Carey shaking his head out of the corner of my eye. I completely agree. I think that if they fall behind... If they fall behind 24-7 like they did the Lions, they're cooked.
Yeah,
against this KC, there were so many things that needed to happen. Marsh, you're right. The Lions imploded in the second half. The Gibbs fumble, the Josh Reynolds multiple drops, Jared Goff missed Sam Laporta on a high throw that could have been a first down.
We didn't talk about that either the week of.
There was misses. Dan Campbell doing everything possible to show that he's going to go for it at any point in any game ever, because that's who they are. There was so much. But the other factor, too, was that Detroit's secondary was garbage.
It was, and I noticed that when they played the Vikings in the final week. Justin Jefferson had a pretty big game.
Your guy, Nick Mullins, in 2 games against the Lions, they played him in 3 weeks.
Don't call him my guy.
Old Nicky football.
Who's your guy?
Well,
Marsh's one of Marsh's favorite quarterbacks.
One of the 4.
One of the 4.
Put up about 700 passing yards against the Lions in those 2 games combined. So that Lions team, ripe for the taking when it comes to comebacks. KC, not so much.
It won't happen.
They're going to shut down.
Yeah, it won't happen that way with Kansas City.
No, I agree. 49ers, though, they got to get a lead. If they don't get a lead, it's the same thing that we saw in the three losses for them. They can't set up the run properly. You're right. They'll still figure out ways to get CMC. But they trail going into the fourth quarter of this game. They will not win.
Right. I agree. I mean, against this team, this team has been
Not gonna
there,
happen.
done that. The moment won't be too big for them because they've had the success in the Super Bowl. They've had the success, throughout their entire tenure and their entire career there in Kansas City. They won't fold. If they get a lead, San Francisco's gonna have a tough time getting back into that game.
No doubt. I don't understand why in certain sports the leagues don't save themselves the embarrassment with certain teams. We'll get into that. We'll explain why next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues will be back in action on Saturday, taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Pregame starting at 11. Puck drop is at 12, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. It was announced today that the Blues will take on the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2025 Winter Classic at Wrigley Field. We talked a little bit about that earlier today. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Speaking of interviews, we'll talk with Joe Vitale later today, talking about your Blues. Joe Vitale at 5:30. Once again, Blues are back in action this weekend, taking on the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. And you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Understand why the NHL, and there's probably reasons for it. Okay, so I'm not smart when it comes to the legal aspect of how much the NHL or NBA or Major League Baseball can do to step in and really solve an issue for an individual team. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of red tape to it and all that, but there has to be something that the NHL could do about the Coyotes, for example, or Major League Baseball doing anything with the Oakland / Vegas / minor league A's. This is absolutely embarrassing. Here's the mayor of Vegas on Front Office Sports on the A's and how they should stay in Oakland.
We have a very large complex, probably about 60 acres. We probably could cobble together more land so they could possibly have 100 acres. And it's in the historic old part of town, which is where all major interstate highways come together. We have 7 access points to it. It is in an opportunity zone. There are all these benefits. And so when they said no, I thought, this doesn't make sense. And so why is it happening? And then I thought, well, because they really want to stay in Oakland. They want to be on the water. They have that magnificent dream, and yet they can't get it.
Would it be a good thing if the A's do, in fact, move to the Tropicana?
I personally, I'm not talking about anybody else, anywhere else in this community. I personally think they've got to figure out a way to stay in Oakland and make their dream come true.
Okay, so that was Mayor Carolyn G. Goodman on Front Office Sports. That audio came from Front Office Sports. Now, before we dive into this, she did clarify. She goes, I want to be clear that I am excited about the prospect of Major League Baseball in Las Vegas, and it very well may be that the Las Vegas A's will become a reality that will be welcome to our city. So, not a full walk back, but she did kind of clarify, like, hey, listen, I'm still excited for this.
Sounds like
they want to be in Oakland.
Yeah, it sounds like she doesn't believe that the Athletics actually want to be anywhere other than Oakland. Based on the comments and saying there were other opportunities, better spaces for them to choose, and they chose this one and seemed feasible. It didn't seem like a great idea. It just seemed like they were choosing something to say they chose something, but in actuality, they would prefer being in Oakland. And so I feel bad for the city of Oakland. Like I've said this before, you lose the Warriors, they go across the bridge to San Francisco. You lose the Raiders, they go to Vegas. And now you're talking about losing the Oakland Athletics and them going to Las Vegas as well. The city of Oakland, we complain, like we lost 2 football teams. They potentially lose 3 major sports franchises in the matter of a 5-year span. Like that's hard.
That's rough. Yeah.
That is hard on Oakland fans and Oakland, people from the city of Oakland. So I have long been of the mindset, I hope that they stay now. hey, the product that they put out there, maybe the Oakland A fans are like, hell, we don't want to watch this crap. Go ahead.
Well,
take them.
That's the unfair part, right?
That is. But to your point, what can Major League Baseball do? What can the National Hockey League do for the Coyotes? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because this is you are a part of a group, meaning the NHL or the Major League Baseball, but you still own this team and you still have rights to do with whatever you want to do with your team and how you see fit to run it. I can't come in and say, you run your business terrible, give it to me. Huh?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Hell no. You can't
I'll run this how I want to.
I'm going to run. You don't have to like it. Are you going to, I mean, what could Major League Baseball do to rectify the Oakland Athletics deciding to want to leave and them not putting a product out there that wins games? What are some of the repercussions that could take place?
Carey, you said it's not going to happen, and I agree. You could do a salary floor and a salary cap.
It'll never happen.
Another thing that won't happen. Carey, I'm with you.
Yeah, well.
So
that wasn't for you. That was for everyone out there that screams that. Salary cap. No. Salary floor. No. The owners ain't going to go for a floor, and the players ain't going to go for a cap.
Yep.
They got it. Both parties have it exactly where the hell they want it.
But that
I can make as much as I want, and if I'm an owner, I don't have to spend nothing if I don't want to.
This is where we get into what's best for the fans or what's reality.
Yeah. This is two different things.
What's best for the fans? This is where we get into the weeds. What's best for the fans is to have a salary cap, salary floor, same rules. It's a finite game. There's 9 innings, unless there's extra innings, but you get what I'm saying. The rules are set. The rules are set in the offseason. Rules are set during games. You could spend this amount. You have to at least spend this amount. Otherwise, do what you want to do with your roster.
Right.
And it creates a competitive balance. Now, some baseball fans will hear that and say, well, look at the previous World Series winners. Okay. Expand that out just a little bit and look at like the final 4 teams. Mm-hmm. A lot of the same teams you're seeing coming up over and over and over again. Whereas like the Chiefs, they may win another one here in a short period of time. There's still a lot of parity in the regular season, though. The flipping Houston Texans won a playoff game this year. Salary cap, salary floor, finite game. Everybody kind of plays the same thing. That would be the best for fans.
Yeah.
Because now I have an opportunity each year to watch my team, who was dog, bleep, for the previous 5 years, make a playoff game. I could be excited for it. Turn it around in a heartbeat. But what's reality is that Major League Baseball, to your point, Carey, owners will never go for the floor. They don't want it. They don't want to have to spend if they don't want to, i.e. Oakland. And the players will never go for the cap because they want to make as much money as humanly possible, as much money as somebody's willing to pay. So we're not going to see that.
Why doesn't this owner just sell the team?
He doesn't want to.
Why? What's the point of having a team?
Is he making money?
He's probably making, even the Oakland A's are probably making a ton of money.
Way more money than he would doing anything else, I would assume. And so when people will just sell the team,
he should.
Why?
But wouldn't you make more money if your team was good?
Going back to the fan, yes, but he's already got profits. He's already got a winner doing nothing. He's not putting anything in.
Exactly.
It's terrible. I agree.
Major League Baseball needs to step in then and be like, dude, you're making our product look worse.
The only way that Major League Baseball or any of these organizations, NBA, NFL, step in is when there's an issue like what you had with Donald Sterling. When you have the issue that you had with the Suns owner.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, yeah, we won't allow that.
Right.
But
that's cheap. An owner.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to get out of here because we won't allow those types of things. But you being cheap,
there's nothing
I don't know
it.
that you can do anything with someone that does not want to spend money, but they're making money on their own company. Like it's un-American, right? How can you tell someone you need to give me that because, well, maybe that is actually American now that I think about it.
Give me that. Right now.
You're not doing it right. It's mine. Think about it. But either way.
I'm not. Come on, Carey. Really?
Hey, wait. Hey.
I was not expecting a history lesson today.
It's just the truth. But either way, the fact that they
weren't
won't
there.
be able, we weren't, but we know history doesn't change. It still is what it is. Either way, the fact that they won't be able to tell.
It's the land of the free, Carey. I will not sit here and have you.
Hey, if you don't learn from the past, the history is bound to repeat
you
itself.
go.
Sure.
So we're getting a history lesson right now.
Right now.
I'm just saying America.
So another ball club in Major League Baseball doesn't end up like the Oakland
There you
Athletics.
go.
That's why we're having this history lesson.
Get their team taken from them.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it would be nice if Major League Baseball could do something. But Carey's right. These teams are purchased and operated by these owners that can do whatever they want with their team.
Do people in Vegas even want the A's in their city?
Yeah.
They do?
Yep. You want to be a city that's got everything.
4 franchises, 3 franchises.
Do you think they'd
NHL,
rather have a different team, or do you
NFL.
think they want the A's?
I'm sure they want the Yankees, but Yankees aren't available. Yankees aren't available. You got to take what's available.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be a St. Louis, LA situation where this team actually goes to a different city and then they start actually
Competing.
carrying.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of hiring Jeff Fisher, they hire Sean McVay.
Because you're not going to move your team to a new city and be terrible. How is that going to attract fans?
Yeah, very true. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the Dodgers have another pitcher. Actually, it's just Clayton Kershaw. Him and the Dodgers reached an agreement on a new contract. What do you guys think of this signing, and where does he fit in with this rotation?
Yeah, so the deal apparently figures to become official on Thursday, which is the first day the Dodgers can place players on the 60-day roster. 17th with the Dodgers. We saw this with Yachty, where he stayed in one spot. It is becoming extraordinarily rare that one player stays with one team, but I think it's great. There's some speculation that he might go to the Rangers, but turns out he's going to return to the Dodgers for his 17th season. Now, in terms of his on-field products, I mean, he's not going to pitch until the second half or later. He had surgery on his shoulder, so I don't think that this is going to impact them significantly throughout the course of the season. But to have Clayton Kershaw coming back at some point in the second half, even this version of Clayton Kershaw is still pretty good.
It's really good.
Because you're going to have injuries. You're going to have injuries throughout the course of your season.
He's your fourth or fifth starter at this point.
With him, probably fourth.
Not third.
Fourth, maybe.
Shohei isn't pitching this year, though. So
no, true.
Maybe.
But Walker, when does Walker Buehler come back? He's going to be back. Buehler? At some point. Let's see here. Yeah. Dodgers confirmed that Buehler will be held back to start the season. But he will, let's see here. Dodgers haven't said what the workload will be coming off Tommy John. Walker Buehler is going to be back for the majority of the season.
It's going to be a dangerous team come probably mid to second half of the season then.
I would say
if everyone is getting healthy, especially in the starting the starting pitchers.
So you've got Yamamoto.
Yeah.
You've got Buehler at some point. Mm-hmm. You got Tyler Glass now. Mm-hmm. You've got the young kid, Bobby Miller. And you also signed James Paxton. So, yeah, they're going to be pretty stout. So, Yamamoto is going to be your ace.
PECOTA have them. How many wins do they have them at?
101.1. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
ESPN.
Yep.
So it is a good number.
It is. So Yamamoto, Glass now.
Mm-hmm. For a team that's going to lose in the NLCS.
Probably, yeah. But, they're going to be dangerous again. Yeah, it's a good signing. Good depth signing. And I like the fact that, again, he's going back to the same team.
Guys, it looks like the Commanders have fired Eric Bieniemy and I mean, Coach Quinn. What are you doing?
Well, he's bringing in Cliff Kingsbury.
We heard and Caleb Williams was congratulating him about that. The same Caleb Williams that may or may not want to be a Chicago Bear, the number 1 overall pick.
I saw Louis Riddick of ESPN say that the Commanders should just completely throw everything at the Bears for the number 1 pick. Take Caleb Williams.
What are you giving up for that? I mean, you're moving up one spot.
You're giving up, obviously, your first round pick.
Yeah, I mean,
a first round next year.
Oh,
and then I don't know.
Or do you not even risk it because he already said he does not want to go to the Bears? But if the Bears trade that pick, will he be willing to go to? Well, if they're going to trade, they might get more from someone else either way.
Very true.
You know what I mean? Like if you are, who was in there that I don't think Tennessee is going to get another one. Maybe Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons moving up from 8 to number 1. You're going to get more from Atlanta than you would get from the Commanders at one spot ahead, one spot behind.
Carolina went what 9 to 1 last year, and they gave up a haul.
Yes, they did.
And they had to throw in DJ Moore just to sweeten the deal.
Yeah. And many other teams. Who else who is in need of? The Minnesota Vikings should re-sign Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna die on that hill, Marsh. And I think you will be up there with me.
Yeah, I actually had this thought. I thought would be interesting.
New England needs a quarterback?
No.
They do.
was watching the Jameis Winston interview
Which one?
with Pardon My Take. Mm-hmm. It was actually really good. And I love Jameis Winston. I was like, I wonder if the Vikings would end up maybe drafting a quarterback this year, not paying Kirk Cousins, giving more of that money to Justin Jefferson, bolstering their roster, and bring Jameis Winston in for 1 year. Man, that guy, I love that guy.
But you got your guy in Nicky
Dubs.
football.
No.
Nicky Mullins.
Y'all got a bunch of guys. Y'all had 4 guys start this year.
Yeah.
You got 4, you got 1.
That's true.
We only need 2, a.k.a. Jameis Winston, baby.
Nice.
Number 2.
Hey, Carey, Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. I feel, I don't know.
But there's something.
So, I don't know if you saw, did you see about Mike Vrabel as to why he was not getting any jobs this season?
He's a terrible interview.
Well, no, because there are some people that are uncomfortable with his size, his stature, and it makes some people feel uncomfortable.
Andy Reid's a big guy.
Not like that. Andy Reid is bigger this way than this way. And so Eric Bieniemy, not big in stature, but I think the way he carries himself makes people uncomfortable.
This is football. What are you talking about?
On the field, but there is a complete distinction, and we all know that from the field and the front office. And he has to do both. He has to deal with people in the front office, the head coach does, and obviously has to deal with players on the field. Mike Vrabel, they said that he makes people uncomfortable.
I thought that was fake.
Yeah, I thought it.
This has to
was
be
it not
fake.
fake?
I don't think it was. I don't know.
It was real. Yeah, he makes people
It's got to
uncomfortable.
be real fake.
Real fake? No.
I don't know. Who was it? Diana Rossini was saying that.
So, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's a mountain of a man.
Yeah, some people can handle it, some can't.
I think it's probably more his personality.
For Vrabel or for...
It's probably both.
I agree.
There's got to be a reason why Eric Bieniemy,
New York Post.
after all those years
Physical
in
appearance.
KC,
Yeah.
then, and I brought this point up, I brought this point up before. He goes to Washington. They could have fired Ron Rivera at any point. That team wasn't going anywhere. You could have fired him, given Eric Bieniemy a run as a head coach in the second half to see what he would do. But instead, they're like, nah, we'll just keep Riverboat Ron. His carcass, we'll just keep him.
They kept him because they didn't want to turn it over to Eric Bieniemy.
Exactly.
They didn't want him to have success. There were no plans, new ownership, new group, no plans to give Eric Bieniemy a shot. And he makes people uncomfortable because his brash delivery. We heard about it when he first got to Washington. The players were uncomfortable. And Tyreek Hill said, yeah, y'all just got to get used to that. He's not even, he coached all of us that way. Patrick Mahomes said, I don't know what to tell you. You got to get used. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
But if you listen, you could be a champion because he's done it on the highest level with some of the greatest players to play the game. But it's uncomfortable. Did you see it?
I did see the Mike Vrabel thing.
It's on the New York Post right here.
So it is real.
Yeah, Mike
It
Vrabel's
sounded
physical
so dumb,
appearance
I thought it
may
was
have
fake.
been too intimidating and turned teams off.
Wow.
You never can tell these days what's real and what's fake. Sometimes you have Elon Musk who's buying Anheuser-Busch,
Yeah.
and you think it's real.
Yeah.
Typically, if Jamie's reading something from Twitter, it is not real.
One last thing here, and this is going up against the moon, right? So Madden, every year they do a sim of the Super Bowl. And congratulations, Anthony. The Chiefs in Madden have beaten the San Francisco 49ers. However, the last 3 seasons, Madden and the sim has been wrong. It had the Eagles beating the Chiefs last year, the Bengals beating the Rams, and then Kansas City defeating Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. 3 years in a row that the sim has got it wrong. And the Chiefs have won this year's Madden sim for the Super Bowl.
So the sim is due to get one right. Red Kingdom.
I don't know.
Here you go, Anthony.
Okay.
Here's some positivity. The last time Madden got a simulation right for the Super Bowl was when the Chiefs beat the 49ers.
There you go. See?
So,
Yeah?
Carey.
Nah, I don't
You
know.
and I, Chiefs.
Yeah,
Kingdom.
we are definitely not going against Patrick Mahomes ever again.
There we
and
go.
don't go against the moon either. That thing's been a
the
staple
moon jealous?
in human history for a long time.
The moon gave us greatness earlier.
19-1.
19-1 the moon is in that crescent level of style.
Yeah, what you said, because I don't know what that is.
Hey, 101 ESPN has your chance to win a pair of single-season passes to the 2024 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament. It's the return of Arch Madness at the annual MVC Tournament, March 7th through the 10th at Enterprise Center. All session and single-session tickets are on sale now, and you can text in to the Air Comfort Service text line to score passes to Arch Madness now at 314-399-9646. And you can learn more about the MVC tournament. Register to win tickets at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. Who's the runner-up in last year's title game? That's your question. Who's the runner-up? What team lost in last year's title game in the Arch Madness tournament? If you have the correct answer, and you're the 101st texter to 314-399-9646, you're going to get these tickets. So there you have it. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Does the PECOTA standings give you confidence in the Cardinals? Let me some mic drop. I'll tell you our answer on that next on 101 ESPN. .305 your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. To the PECOTA standings for the Cardinals, give you some juice today, and not Juice Soros at Pisa.
He didn't.
Apparently, it's UC.
UC. I think you got that name wrong, but it's okay.
I don't need to get it right when he blows a 3-0 lead.
I was going to say,
And bet the
Anthony,
board.
did you see when the Predators had a 3-0 lead and then lost?
I did. I did see that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well said there, Marsh. So does the PECOTA standings give you any sort of confidence? How about this, too? The closer we get to spring training, so it doesn't even have to be PECOTA, and they've got the Cardinals at 85.5 wins, so it was round up 86 wins. Mm-hmm. That's third in the National League in terms of the teams that they project. Atlanta, LA's one at 101.1. Atlanta's 2 at 100.7. And the Cardinals are third at 85.5. So a bit of a drop-off there, but they're third nonetheless, boys. But even if the PECOTA standings you don't care about, the closer that we get to spring training, do you start to feel a little bit more confident in the Cardinals?
I feel like I'm going to be confident when I see the product on the field. When I see, a moment in the game where, and I'm not talking about spring training because we saw a really good spring training last year, and it
that fooled me.
Turned out really bad. And so I'm talking, the first 3-4 series of the year, really understanding who this team is. They got some challenges to start the season off, and really get a good view of who these starters are, how well they're going to perform. I know most people say early in the season, we got to wait till the weather breaks. It starts to warm up a little bit. But I think you will have an idea as to what you're working with, 2, 3, 4 series into the season.
As I alter another question here, what will give you confidence? Because for me, and I'll let you guys ruminate on that, okay? What will give you confidence in the Cardinals with the on-field product? We spent all offseason talking about what could bring you confidence if they do this, if they sign this guy, if they trade for this guy. But assuming that this is the roster, and it is, what's going to give you confidence on the field? For me, it's winning in a very select way. So it might be, I don't care what it is, and I'm not going to start projecting that the Cardinals will do this. But let's just say the starting staff is way better than what we thought. And you are shutting teams down. Like, you're pitching, it just comes together. It was the right guys at the right time and all that. Steven Matz is staying healthy, and he's dealing, he's doing his thing. The guys that you picked up, they're solid. The starting staff in April is just shut down, right? Or maybe it's the offense. They hit more home runs than anybody in baseball in the first month. Winning in a certain way will give me confidence.
See, I think the opposite. I'd like to see them win in different ways, right? I would like to see them blow teams out. I'd like to see them keep one-run leads and win games like that. I'd like to see them come from behind and win. Because if this team, the whole year, let's just say they're blowing teams out, right? But in one game, they get down by like 3 or 4 runs, and they're like, we're used to blowing teams out. Like, just not our night. No, I want to see this team and what they can do when they're losing. Because
so you want to see them win in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I want to see them in certain situations and see how they perform under certain in certain situations. Because that's what it's going to be like come October.
So you kind of want to see them be the jack of all trades, master of none. Because you can't be great in everything. Well, you're not the Braves.
Why do they have to be? What does that have to do with winning games, though?
What I'm saying is be elite at least one aspect of your game. Like, going into every game, like, you're gonna have to win in a different way because our pitching staff is going to shut you down. Or good luck keeping the ball in the park because this is the best power hitting team in the league. I want this. It's just my opinion, but I want to see them win. And do so in at least one elite way. Now, I'm not saying be great in one area and horrific in every other category. But
they already did that.
They already did that. If I'm going to have confidence in this team, if I see one aspect of their game, I know how they're winning and how they're losing, but more so, they are elite in one aspect of their game, I will feel good about it.
I think I'm more on the lines with you. For me, playing good defense, hitting the cutoff man, work ethic, doing the minor detail things, the things that help you win games, for me is what I want to see. I want to see a consistent lineup. I would love to see that, but that is not on the players. That's on management and whoever is putting together the lineup day to day on the roster and all of those things. Ali Marmal said that's. So I want to see some consistency there. I want to see, a player batting in the 2-hole every single day. And I don't want to just see Goldie and Arenado batting where they bat. I want to see consistency in the lineup so the guys can get familiar and understand the pitches that they're going to see because of who's behind them or who's in front of them and things of that nature. I want to see consistency. I want to see good defense. Obviously, you want to see wins. Mm-hmm. The power, I don't know that this is a power team, but hitting with runners in scoring position for me also.
So like suffocating fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
They don't beat themselves.
The things that are boring to do all off season to work on, the things that you just have to do repetitively and it's boring and no one's excited, no one's watching. Those are the things I want to see.
That does play in the postseason, Marsh, because you do not see teams beat themselves much that win at all. They don't beat themselves.
I think the way that I look at this, though, let's just say for the sake of the argument or the sake of the conversation, you're thinking of, okay, they have an elite offense, right? Their offense is elite. Well, their offense is not going to be elite for 162 plus games if you're playing in the postseason. That's just not going to happen. I want to see if the offense is not humming on all cylinders, I need the pitching staff to step up. And if they're doing that and they're finding different ways to win ball games, then I have more confidence in this team because I know if the offense did not show up one day, maybe the defense and the pitching does. And if the pitching doesn't show up one day, then maybe the offense is able to pick them up and win games. So finding different ways to win with all areas of your ball club, that is what's going to give me confidence because when I look at that, that is an overall team, right? One guy picking up the next guy. That's what gives me confidence.
There's a text from the 636 Gents. I'd just be happy to see them win.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yep. Well said.
We're probably going.
Well, we got a 4-hour radio show to can't just do that. But Marsh, you know what that sounds like to me? The Blues this year.
But they're not winning. Like they are, but they're not.
Exactly. So we don't know why they're winning. Like we did this whole thing.
An identity?
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have probably just said identity. Yeah.
So you don't think that finding ways to win ball games in other ways?
Yes. I think being well-rounded is good.
Yeah.
I think being consistent in one aspect where you go to the ballpark, for example, we use Carey Steelers a lot. You knew you were going to get punched in the mouth if you walked into Heinz Field, especially in January. If you did not up your physicality, you were going to be left in whatever dirty-ass Pittsburgh street they have there.
Right, but you might win that game, though, because the Pittsburgh Steelers, their offense, not good, right? They're not good.
That offense was really good, first and foremost, okay?
Not this year.
Fullback was incredible.
He was.
Maybe when Carey was playing. Actually, not maybe. They were.
The Cardinals aren't the Braves. I should have said this. They're not the Braves. They're not the Dodgers. They're the Cardinals, and they have a very average to above average roster, right? If we're being fair, let's say above average roster.
Okay.
Let's say above average roster, okay?
Well, they're third best in the NL according to the
PECOTA,
computer.
Right.
Clearly.
But Atlanta has a better roster. Philadelphia has a better roster. The Dodgers have a better roster. Hell, the Diamondbacks might have a better roster. They don't have the best roster. So we're talking about the Cardinals, not the Braves. What you're talking about, beating teams in a variety of ways, yeah. If I'm Atlanta, you better show me that. Because if your pitching stinks, you're off. I get that. That's your point's well made. If I'm talking about the Cardinals, though, you do not have a roster that's going to compete with those other teams. Can you do one thing at an elite level consistently?
So that reminds me of the Minnesota Vikings last year, right? They were winning one-score games, and they were unbelievable at that. But the one game that they needed to win a one-score game, they failed at. They were so good at that last season. And they lost. They lost in the playoffs to Daniel Jones for crying out loud, like
for Daniel Jones,
because their offense could keep up, right? Because the defense was so bad. But with the moment their offense was not good, the game was over because their defense was not good. So, yeah, they were good at one thing all season, but when it really came down to it and they didn't have the other side of the football to step up.
And that's going to cost the Cardinals a chance to make a deep run at some point, right?
Well, yeah, based on what you're
Vikings-
saying, that's how I'm perceiving it.
Vikings did not have the Eagles roster. They did not have the Niners roster. They did not have the Chiefs roster. But if you play the Vikings, you better put up points. That's kind of where I'm at.
I get what you're
You know
saying.
what I mean? And for me, I hope it's pitching. I hope the pitching surprises
Pitching and
the hell out
defense
of
for
us.
me. If defense first and foremost.
Listen, pitching,
Yeah.
defense,
Yeah.
base running, offense,
The simple
coaching.
things.
Just give me all of that, and I think they're going to be okay.
I agree.
Jamie Rivers, live from Mexico, next on 101 ESPN.
Happy Super Bowl to all that celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing some of your favorite football snacks and placing some bets. I know I enjoy that. And it is fun. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W or 2 or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58, but FanDuel has other bets for you as well. Like what, Anthony? What do they have?
They got all kinds of stuff, Gary.
Tell me.
They've got Patrick Mahomes over/under completions, pass attempts, touchdowns, interceptions, whether or not he's going to fumble, how many rushing yards. They've got it all, Carey. They probably have Taylor Swift prop plays.
I think they do.
Gatorade bath. They got it all at FanDuel.
Indeed.
And you can bet with them, but you do have to sign up. New customers join today, get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. But you do have to go to FanDuel again. FanDuel.com/fast to get signed up. FanDuel.com/fast to get signed up so that you can join today. Get the $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 and older, present in Illinois. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues no withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line, where we're joined by the man, the myth, the legend, all the way down in Mexico. It's Jamie Rivers from his vacation spot. What's up? What's up, Riv?
Not much, boys. How we doing?
How are you doing?
How are you
Yeah, we don't care
doing?
about us. How are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm poolside right now. There are some shenanigans going on in the pool. The music's going. The drinks are nice. And I'd be remiss to say that I'm having a pretty good time.
I couldn't tell until that last sentence. What are we drinking?
Yeah. Right now, I'm kicking the tires on a Paloma. I don't really drink these very often, but I drank so much yesterday that I think I drank everything that they made, so I'm trying something different today.
Good for you. Yeah, you got to expand your horizons. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey.
Always growth, personal growth, Anthony.
Yes.
Oh, sure. We've been inundated with requests. I don't know if you post anything. I haven't been on social media.
Have we been inundated with them?
What's going on with the latest pair? If you catch my drift.
There's yet to be an official unveiling.
Okay, all right.
So Marsh said by Wednesday. That was his date, his day.
Just because it's hump day.
Yeah, hump day made sense for him.
Well, how appropriate would that be, right, Anthony?
Hey, it made sense to me. As soon as Marsh said it, I go, Marsh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, we wanted to have you on to ruin your vacation just a little bit, but we missed you. And get your thoughts on the 2025 Winter Classic being at Wrigley Field between the Blues and the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome, man. You just look back at the natural rivalries over the course of time, and it's always been Blues Blackhawks, and I thought it was an awesome event when they had it at Busch Stadium. Obviously, it sold out. People loved it. It was a great event. St. Louis did a fantastic job. And, Chicago has had one at Wrigley Field before. I think they played the Red Wings when they did it. But this time around, man, it's going to be neat. They got Connor Bedard, young star, so obviously the NHL recognizing that they needed to get more eyeballs onto this young man. And, what better team than to have the Blues come up there? The last time they did this whole song and dance, it was super successful, and it was a hell of a hockey game. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, Jamie, I mentioned earlier that we don't want you to be there by yourself, and the entire show should be there for the Winter Classic in Chicago.
Yeah, Carey's going to
I think that would be great for us, just building on what we have.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Boots on the ground is always necessary, Carey, in these situations, and I'm sure that Tommy will expense the whole thing. John Kiowski, big hockey fan.
There you go.
He'll probably want to come with us and just be on the show just to say he did it, And I don't blame him for that.
It's more than welcome to.
Yes, indeed.
So, Jamie, and I'm sure you've thought about this a lot over your vacation here. When it comes to, well, first, I don't think we had an opportunity to talk to you. At least I didn't, because I went out there for a little while. Things got wild.
Yeah.
You had said that the Blue Jackets game was significant because the Blues had been rolling. They had the opportunity to head into the break on an absolute tear by beating a bad team. But let's flush that out. When it comes to the second half, how does this team start fast? What's the best approach?
Well, for me, what's going to be pivotal is we're going to get some guys back from injury, or at least one would assume so. You ended up with both Scott Perunovich and Justin Falk out with injury. Kasperi Kapanen, he was out with his foot. Kapanen hasn't had a crazy offensive season, but you really lose a lot of team speed when he's out of the lineup, and he's a real good penalty killer. He plays very strong defensive hockey. So that does create a little bit of a void in your lineup. And certainly Justin Falk and Scott Perunovich. Justin Falk, I've talked about it all year. I think he's been your second best defenseman next to Colton Parayko. And honestly, Scott Perunovich has really picked up his game. He's been a really nice add, especially for your power play, which, under Drew Bannister is tied for 8th in the NHL. And Scott Perunovich has been a big part of that. So I think the key for them starting fast once we start up again here is one, remembering what it felt like to lose at the Blue Jackets, but then also remember what it felt like to go on that 5-game tear.
Right.
You know, and what guys were doing. They were sacrificing. They were playing the right way. They were playing tight defensively. And I think that's the biggest key here is realizing that hard work, that style of play was rewarded with victories against some pretty good hockey clubs, too. Other teams that were in the mix. And now you have an opportunity to start your first 2 games against teams that aren't really in the mix. The Buffalo Sabres, the Montreal Canadiens. But the caveat to that is, let's be real, both teams are fast, both teams are talented. And if you're not on your A game, they'll put the screws to you, and then you'll start 0-2 out of the break, and that's certainly not the start you want.
Well, that was going to be my question. I know it's probably tough to answer, but what Blues? Okay, yes.
There we go.
Good times.
Mm-hmm. This is why we called you.
Which Blues team can we expect in the second half?
Well, you better expect the one we saw recently in the 5-game tear, because if you see the one against the Blue Jackets, they're screwed. There'll be no playoff for that team, you know. And I think that's going to be an important piece of the meaning when Drew Bannister gets these guys back together. I know, guys, I'm battling through it.
Jamie, all I want is a video when you get done. Just send us a video, a picture of what's going on in the background.
I don't know if I can do that, Carey. Certain restrictions apply.
Fair.
But no, I think as a coaching staff and as a leadership group, like, you have to meet it head on and realize, like, what kind of team do we want to be? Do we want to be a team that misses the playoffs because we screwed up a handful of games, or do we want to be a team that, quite honestly, battles the odds? Because there's a lot of people that had kind of written off the Blues, and they're not going to be a playoff team. It's not respecting the group of guys that are there playing, and here they are now in a situation to where they can be a playoff team. So who do you want to be? And I think that comes down to each and every player showing up every day, be ready to go.
All right, Jamie, before we let you go, we're going to switch gears just for 2 seconds. PECOTA released its numbers.
Oh, my favorite guy.
Yes. You're going to like him, though. Cardinals, 85.5 wins. That's the 3rd highest projection in the National League. So that would put them 1 in the NL Central and 3rd in the entire National League, behind only the Dodgers and the Braves.
What kind of world are we living in where 85 wins is like 3rd best in the National League? Like, you've got to get to 90-plus wins to be a team of significance. And now 85 wins is getting you to the dance. Like, man, PECOTA's team definitely lowered its standards.
I think the Cardinals have been right around 85, 86 wins for them. Carey and I were just saying, you know, this PECOTA just runs the same system, because even though if the names are different, the Cardinals, it's the same team.
Yeah.
Year after year.
It's a little shocking, because like last year, everybody was so ticked off at PECOTA because they said, well, they're going to not be a very good team. Well, they really weren't a good team. In fact, they underperformed. Even PECOTA didn't see what was going to happen beforehand. And I don't know, man. It's weird to think that the additions that they've had to this team moves the needle enough, or maybe it doesn't move the needle. It's weird to think that other teams have fallen off that much. So when you look at the Central Division and the National League overall, it gets hard to imagine that only the Dodgers and the Braves are, theoretically going to be better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to look at.
All right, Jamie, we're going to let you go. Keep drinking your new drink. Try another one. Enjoy. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
I'll have one for all of you. Okay?
I'm sure you already have. See you, buddy.
All right, guys. Have fun.
All right. There's Jamie Rivers, our guy, live from Mexico.
He's enjoying
He's in the pool. He's poolside.
I enjoy that for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in the pee pool either.
No,
it doesn't sound like it, Marsh.
The adult pool.
Yep. All right, we're going to play Are You Sold next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I always enjoy, after I get the kids off to school, heading right up 270, going to the West Clubhouse of the Missouri Athletic Club. That's where I get my work done. It's where I get my workout in. It's a lot of times where I'll just shower up, change, and then head straight to the station. It's a perfect spot for me, perfect location. I also enjoy going downtown with all the events that they have. It's always to the nines there. And when it's summertime, whether we go to the West Clubhouse and enjoy the pool or head downtown and, take part in the Jack Buck Grill before going to Cardinals games, both spots are perfect. It's Missouri Athletic Club. That's Miami C.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are off until Saturday. We just talked with Jamie Rivers. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. We'll also talk with Joe Vitale later today at 5:30, so stay tuned for that. Once again, the Blues are back in action this weekend, taking on the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. They'll take on the Sabres on Saturday with the pregame starting at 11, puck drop at 12. And then on Sunday, they'll go to Montreal to take on the Canadiens with the pregame starting at 11, puck drop at 12, and then following that will be Super Bowl 58. It was also announced today by Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, that the Blues will compete against the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2025 Winter Classic. So that should be a fun one. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh with some Are You Sold questions.
All right, gentlemen, the Philadelphia Eagles will be playing in Brazil next season to open up the year. Are you sold on the NFL expanding the game to other countries now in the South America region? Are you sold on this?
I'm sold that they're going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
And well, they have done it, and they're going to continue to do it. The one game was supposed to be in Mexico City a couple of years ago when the Chiefs and the Rams played, and they had to shift the game to, I think, back to SoFi.
Because of the smoke? Was it
I think it was fires or smoke.
Fires, I think so, yeah. I mean, this is just part of the business.
Yep.
I think it does throw your schedule off a little bit, obviously, because it's different. But at the end of the day, if it's the first game of the year, is that what you said?
Yeah, the season opener.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I wish the season opener was in somebody's home stadium.
I think that's the only problem. You lose
Like
a home
Vitale.
game. You lose a home game, which obviously teams desperately want and need. Not just the players, but the ownership groups. They don't want to lose home games. But I think it is a cool experience. You know, you have had them going over to London and going to different countries. And so Germany.
Yep.
You know, it's as long as the fields are up to standard, which that's usually the main issue, I don't have a problem with it.
I enjoy the early Sunday games. I know the matchups aren't always the best, but
Because it's like 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Well, yes, that makes... So I told
some
you...
of these games are on like 8:30.
Listen, I lived in L.A. and waking up at 10 a.m. and seeing football was like the best
Yeah.
thing ever. It was like, whoa, it's early.
It's
Football's
amazing
on.
when I'm like, all right, I get the kids fed, and it's kickoff of somebody.
Well, it can be a little bit of a problem when you don't get your lineup together.
That can be a problem, sure.
Your fantasy.
Or if you don't get your 101 ESPN pick'ems in.
There you go. Well, we know about that.
We didn't have any issues with that, though.
Yeah, I didn't. A couple people did.
Interesting one here from the 636.
Moving along.
Right along.
So we had Darius Shepard in yesterday from the Battlehawks. So we have a Battlehawks question from the 636. Are you sold that the Battlehawks will still be good with or without A.J. McCarron?
I thought A.J. McCarron last year was one of their biggest weapons. When he was changing plays at the line, when he was, he was seeing things that he could recognize from the NFL and diagnose plays quickly pre-snap. There were so many times where the Battlehawks would score a touchdown just on his experience, just because of his experience or his throw or his calmness or his ability to command a huddle. I think they can be good, yes, because I think they're going to be well coached by Anthony Beck. He was a huge difference for them last year. Huge.
I agree. I think, hopefully they are, we'll see who's the starting quarterback, and hopefully they get the work in and get enough time to get familiar with their guys and with the system and are able to have the success. Anthony did a great job last year and not finishing in the way that I know that they all wanted to and we expected them to. I think they'll have that, the players that are returning, they'll have that on their mind and be ready to roll.
I don't care who the quarterback is, as long as they're winning games and drinking seltzers after.
There you go.
That's all I care about.
That didn't carry over last year, did it?
No, it didn't, but we need to bring it back. They need to bring it back.
I'm looking at their roster right now, and final rosters aren't set yet. I haven't seen... So Nick Tiano, who played for UT Chattanooga, is on the roster. Manny Wilkins, if you remember, he played at Arizona State. That's it. So I don't know if they're planning on bringing another QB in. I don't know, but hopefully they find somebody that either started in college and just never got his opportunity in the NFL, and he comes back in kind of like McCarron wanted to do. We'll see.
Yeah, what would you rather prefer? Would you prefer a guy that has NFL experience to the level of A.J. McCarron, or would you rather have a new guy that is building and is younger and can potentially level up within the game of football?
I thought we saw the best of both worlds. You had Jordan Ta'amu the first year, and Ta'amu was somebody that still had aspirations to play in the NFL, wound up getting on the Chiefs practice squad after his half stint, because COVID ruined it, unfortunately, his half stint with the Battlehawks, but he was exciting to watch. Now, he came back last year. I think he played for Washington or D.C., one of those teams. He played very well.
Yeah. Last year?
Yeah.
He was with the D.C. Defenders.
So D.C. And then last year we saw A.J. McCarron, who had NFL experience, not as mobile, but somebody that, again, could change plays in a blink. I think I'd rather have the guy that has a little experience.
I'd rather have the guy that's younger and working, because get the opportunity to work himself to it. Because the ultimate goal, we can pretend like the ultimate goal is to play in the NFL for a lot of these players.
Yeah.
So if they are able to work their way through and get an opportunity to play on Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays or in Brazil, wherever they're playing, that's the ultimate goal.
We'll show them what football is like.
Any day of the week. Except for Friday, because that's safe for high school.
Right. Yeah, we'll attack. We'll impede on
Every
college
day.
football's day. We'll impede on college football's other days. We'll impede on NBA days. We'll impede in baseball postseason day. We don't care. But we're not touching
We're not
Friday
touching
football.
Friday night.
We're not touching the high school.
Eagles play in the first ever Brazil game in week 1 of 2024, marking the first NFL Friday game since 1970.
Oh.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, man.
All right, let's do one more here. From the 314, are you sold the Cards should have traded Dylan Carlson and kept Tyler O'Neill?
No.
Oh, no.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Look, you
Too
gotta,
many injuries, man. I'm
Dylan's
talking
got
about Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah. I knew.
Did you see Dylan Carlson play
I knew who you
in
meant,
that COVID
but
season? He was your cleanup hitter.
There he is.
How many doubles did that man hit?
How many?
He's got his
A lot.
rose-colored glasses on.
He was a good player.
He was.
And there's no chance they should have traded him.
Okay.
And I don't
dead
think they
hands.
will. Cold dead hands. Clark Schmidt, never heard of you.
Right.
Keeping-
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Anthony.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, Clark Schmidt. Unbelievable.
I don't think so. Tyler O'Neill probably was on his way out when he didn't run around third base as fast as possible.
Yeah.
That's probably the beginning of the end, as they say.
They gave him more than enough opportunities.
He said
Like,
he
this
wanted to
is
play
not-
center field,
Yeah,
which
no
imposed
problem.
on Dylan Carlson. They gave him that opportunity.
Yeah.
Now Dylan Carlson got to play.
He's gotta stay healthy,
He
too.
got to stay healthy.
I don't know if we ever talked about this, but can we be honest? I don't think that he should have been sent home to begin with.
Who?
Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah.
That was a bad send.
But still, I mean,
Ronald
he
Acuna
wasn't
Jr.'s got a
running.
fire hose out in right
Hey,
field.
You pick up your third base coach, and you.
I'm
and
just
you
laying
hustle.
it out there.
And you hustle,
I'm
Marsh.
just saying, if I was a third base coach, my hands would have went up.
Yeah, because he wasn't running hard to begin with.
That's fair.
It isn't like
just saying.
he was hauling around third base and they're like go, and then he slowed down. And he was in a good pace
For sure.
for maybe a marathon.
Yeah. I'd take him in the
Okay,
Olympics.
a 5K. You're a little bit faster.
He was moving as quickly as some of those speed walkers do
Damn
on the
it.
sidewalk.
He went right
In the
by and he
mall.
said, on your left.
Oh, they've got more energy, I think, at times.
Yeah. You've seen those mall walkers. They get after it.
Yeah, they do. They get their steps.
You ever been
Carey,
mall
come on.
walking?
No, not intentionally. I told you I was walking the mall when I was waiting on the Buccaneers to sign me or let me know if I was going to be.
You were walking
cut.
the mall?
I had nothing else to do.
Honestly, I don't
I
mind
walked the mall
walking.
for like 3 hours.
Yeah, we grew up in that day of age where it's like, Let's go to the mall.
Yeah.
I did
The
that
mall
too.
is where it was at.
I didn't buy a thing. I just
No,
walked around.
you just walked around. See if you found somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
Maybe get a
Yeah.
number or two. Never call them because
Gotta write it down.
I'm in middle school and I'm shy.
It took everything you had just to ask for the number.
Yeah. And then just,
Not gonna call
I
you.
can't do it. Can't do it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about.
I didn't have Jamie in my life.
No,
to
yeah, Jamie could have
funnel
showed
that
you the way.
confidence in me.
Yep. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is it tougher than ever to build a program in college sports? It's next on 101 ESPN. If you want to play in the Gauntlet, you can. Just text into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, the word Gauntlet, and you'll have an opportunity to take on either Carey, Marsh, or me in about, less than 10 minutes now. I know, Carey, this is something that struck a chord with you. So More Perfect Union tweeted out this breaking news, and this was yesterday afternoon. The NLRB just ruled that Dartmouth men's basketball players and are employees of the college and can go forward with a union election. If they choose to unionize, they'll be the first union of athletes in the NCAA. So they will create their own union, which is interesting. Do you think that this could be, forget the coaching aspect of it for a second, do you think that this could be something that's actually better for college sports? Because it
better for college sports or for the college athlete? Because those are two totally different things.
The athlete's doing well right now, you know?
Well, I think for me, obviously the NIL, the decision to allow NIL has been outstanding for college athletes because it's something that, you know, when I was playing football, you can go to the local Foot Locker and see jerseys in there, and he might be your number, but it wasn't your money.
Me.
Yes, it had no name on it, but you knew who the hell it was.
Right.
And so I think that's been awesome for that college athlete. I do think that something needs to take place. I don't know if it needs to take place, but college football has shifted in a way where it is solely. It's kind of a mercenary sport now. Right? One and done. Guys are in and out, you know, college sports in general, basketball, football, it's one and done. So having a union and having those players be able to, I guess, dictate their own future, what they will and won't do or what they are collectively going to agree to, I think anytime you have that is awesome.
Yeah.
Will it be something that goes to other organizations or other teams around the country? Or will those other programs allow a team to form a union? I don't know that it gets past where it is right now at Dartmouth. I don't know that that's something right now. The college football and college basketball, they're trying to find ways to bring back what they have let the horse out of the barn, and it's just frolicking. It's going everywhere it wants to go right now. And so I think college football, college sports in general, is trying to find a way to dial it back some. So unionizing would not be something that I don't think that they would want to do.
See, that's kind of where I was going, where it's so. I mean, it is free market.
Yeah.
It's free market now. So if you're a player, you're a prospect, you're a high school kid, you could go on these visits and you could take
do what you
the
need
highest.
to do.
Yeah, you could take the highest bid if you want. This, I think, while you have to pay everybody, you at least make them employees. They also then, there are certain expectations then that come. You and I are employee. There are certain codes of conduct that we have to, agree to. These are athletes, so when it comes to time, showing up on time and all that, that's all there anyways. But It's the same deal. You're an employee now, so I wonder if this would help curb some of the wildest spending. That was my thought.
Well, if you are a player that is on the end of receiving some of that wild spending, do you want to be a part of a union?
No.
So,
that's why I asked. That's why I asked. Could this be beneficial for college sports, where if everybody.
It would be beneficial.
Be under the union.
It would be beneficial for the college sports, but do the athletes? Are they? It's similar to what we were talking about with Major League Baseball. It's the floor and the ceiling, like the cap. Players say no, and owners are like no to the floor. It's just getting everybody in alignment and saying, hey, this is going to work out for the whole, for the total. That is a tough task to get everybody in line and say we're going to do this for the whole group. And this was the men's basketball team.
Yes.
So you're talking 15 players, 15 people. NFL has the worst, in my opinion. It's the worst union because it's so many players. Not because it's not great ideas or guys not working hard, but collectively to get all those people on one accord is the toughest task you will come across. Major League Baseball has a really good union. They got 26 players on the roster. That's really easy.
Yeah.
You got 15 players in the NBA. That's really easy. You got 60 people in the NFL.
Right.
Hell no. Yeah,
Baseball is one of the strongest, and you're talking about a 26-man roster.
So it's easier when it's less people. So that basketball team, it may be easier for them. But if you were to get the Dartmouth football team and they got 85 scholarship guys and 100 people total, it's a little bit different.
It is one of the toughest times now if you're a coach. And I'm not crying foul for them. I'm really not. But this is one of the toughest times to be a coach in college sports, specifically college football, where all this money is being thrown about. You don't feel as though that maybe you have the same touch from a recruiting standpoint, because the kid can, jump on you in a heartbeat as soon as he gets a better offer. But I will say this, you also have an opportunity, like Deion Sanders, for example. Deion has laid it out there that you may not get the highest bid from us.
Right.
But this is what we're all about. These are the expectations, and this is what we're going to do for you. If you're steady, you will attract the right kids.
I agree.
So
and kids that want to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
So this might be the most challenging time in college football to build a dynasty and all that. But you could also make it work for you. You get kids that aren't necessarily chasing after the money. Yeah, it's nice, but
that usually lasts for about a year or two. And then once they play above the level that, they've played at or the money that they're receiving, it's free agency. And the crazy thing about the college sports right now is it's free agency every year. You don't get to sign a person to a 2-year deal and say, okay, you're with us for the next 2 years. No, I can have a really good year, and then free agency hits every year after that for college sports right now. And that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
And it's tough. You talk to college coaches, it's so tough right now because not only are you recruiting kids for the new class, so say 2024 class, you got to recruit those kids to come in, but then you got to recruit the kids that are already on your roster.
Yeah.
Because those kids are being reached out to by other players or in some instances other coaches, even though it's not legal, to say, hey, come join our program. We can get you this. We can get you this. And, they're for the most part, they're young men and young women that are, if you offer a certain amount of money, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Why not? So it's a difficult task, and this it's just a world that we are not. I don't think anybody was prepared for with NIL and how it would explode and the manner in which it did. It's a really tough task for these coaches and for college football players.
Somebody will figure it out. Somebody always does. Somebody always does, Carey. Somebody will figure out
what's the solution.
I don't know if there is a solution. I'm just talking about playing within what we're seeing now and making it work for their program. And winning and building the next college football dynasty. I actually think it's going to be more difficult to have a college football dynasty because of the playoff field expanding more so than the NIL deals. That's just my. It's harder now. You got to win more games. I'm just going on that standpoint. It's football. You know more than anybody. Your quarterback has a bad day. You get bounced. You bounced the first round.
And the expansion of the playoffs is going to make it. I think that'll make it more fair, even for more teams across the country.
You're going to get more parity.
Yeah.
Time for the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN. Head out to Auto Centers Nissan right now. They've got tremendous deals throughout the month of February. So if you missed out on some of the deals that they had in January, they still got great financing offers. They still have the 30-day return promise, which is within 30 days. If you need to bring the vehicle back for any reason, they will refund you the price, set you up with something else. No questions asked on that. They also have the complimentary lifetime warranty on all new Nissans. It's just part of the Auto Center's Nissan experience. The other part is that you're going to work with the best in the business. Jerry, shout out to Jerry if he's listening. We purchased a Nissan Pathfinder, pre-owned Nissan Pathfinder for Jerry. He was outstanding, start to finish. We looked online at autocentersnissan.com, saw all the inventory that they have, looked at some of the different price points that they have, and said, look, this is the one we're looking at. He set it aside. We test drove it, worked on the financing aspect, got it done. And we love the Nissan Pathfinder that we got from Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. So, again, if you're in the market for a car, truck, SUV, van, doesn't matter what you're looking for, they've got different makes and models too, not just Nissans. You could do it all at autocentersnissan.com or check them out. One location out in Herculaneum. It's Auto Center's Nissan out in Herculaneum.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Time for the Gauntlet in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Glenn, who's our latest contestant. What's up, Glenn?
Not much, guys. How you doing?
Doing good today. Is this your first time?
It is.
Well, congratulations on getting through. Would you like to take on CD, Marsh, or me?
Since his beard is a little bit more better than mine, I'm going to go against CD.
There you go. CD is often our leadoff hitter.
All right.
So Glenn chose CD. Go ahead, Glenn. Tell Marsh to spin the wheel.
Mr. Marsh, please spin that wheel.
What are you hoping for, Glenn?
Anything really, because whenever I play in the car, it's like, whatever I throw at the wall and sticks. So.
All right, I like that.
Well, that's perfect because today it is random.
The wheel understood you, Glenn. By the way, congratulations to Terrence from Smithton, Illinois, who won the tickets for the MVC tournament. He had the correct answer of Bradley. Bradley was the runner-up last year against Drake in the Arch Madness tournament. And we'll hand out tickets each and every day throughout the rest of the week here in the Fast Lane. All right, random trivia today, Glenn. Each question worth 2 points unless you need the options, and therefore those questions are worth 1 point. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. COVID concerns threw a major wrench into the 2020 U.S. box office, but what was the highest grossing movie that year? What was the highest grossing movie of 2020?
Options, please.
Bad Boys for Life, The Croods, A New Age, or Minions? So Bad Boys for Life, Crudes, or Minions?
I'm going to say Minions. Final answer.
All right.
Question number 2. Name Sonic the Hedgehog's trusty sidekick and best friend.
That would be Tails. Final answer.
All right. Question number 3. What is Kansas City's oldest major barbecue restaurant, owned and operated by the same family?
Oh, I should know this one because I'm a food guy. Options, please.
Arthur Bryant's, Bobby Bishop's, Rosedale Barbecue.
I do believe it's Arthur Bryant. Final answer.
Question number 4. In April of 1614, Pocahontas married whom?
That would be John Smith.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. Well, welcome back, Carey, from the Cone of Silence. Glenn, how you feeling?
Not too. So.
Okay. All right.
Not great, but not good.
Marsh, how's your trivia for 1614?
Not great.
Your 1614?
Carey looks dialed in right now. He has his head down. Reminds me
It is difficult to see when you're in the Cone of Silence.
That's true.
He's coming in. So,
Here he
no,
comes.
1916 trivia?
Nah, I'm not that good at 1916.
No, yeah, 1614.
Yeah.
All right, Carey
Hello.
is back.
I'm back.
Cone of Silence, a little lonely.
Yeah, I don't know. Mike Ryder must have left. He's gone from the
He's starting to leave to not be with us in the Cone of Silence, I feel.
disheartening.
Kind of rude, kind of disheartening, kind of frustrating. Somebody should talk to him.
Just sitting in there by myself.
Yeah.
Googling.
Sorry about that, Carey.
Googling?
Just Googling.
What are you Googling?
I don't know.
Better not be Googling answers.
No, I don't even know what.
Hey, I know what he's Googling, Anthony.
I don't even know what the topic is.
What's he Googling, Anthony?
He's Googling PECOTA's. Actually, no, he's Googling the bagel loan.
Yes. That happened like 2 weeks ago.
That's what I was Googling.
I completely missed it. This time I wanted to miss it there. No, I didn't. Yeah, of course, he's Googling the bagel loan, no doubt.
Yeah.
Our guy, Stewie.
Yeah, I hear you guys talk about it all
He's
the time.
incredible. Yeah, if you're borrowing over $200,000.
I need to give him a call.
No lender fees, no closing costs. Come on.
Oh, Stewie.
Love it. All right.
Bagel loan it is.
Carey.
Yeah.
Random is your category.
Okay.
Marsh, tell him.
Pack a lunch.
Question number 1. COVID concerns threw a major wrench into the 2020 U.S. box office, but what was the highest grossing movie that year?
2020?
Yep.
Man. Very good question. Give me the options, please, sir.
Sure. Bad Boys for Life, The Crudes, A New Age, or Minions? So Bad Boys, The Crudes, or Minions?
Did I watch Bad Boys for Life at the movies during COVID? I'm going to go Minions, final answer. I don't think Bad Boys for Life was there.
Question number 2. Name Sonic the Hedgehog's trusty sidekick and best friend.
Oh, well. Haven't played that in forever. Oh, man. Give me the options. I hate it.
Options are Tails, Crasher, or Bandit.
All of those sound right.
That's the worst, isn't it?
Tails, Bandit, or Crasher? Is that right?
Tails, Crasher, Bandit.
Tails, Crasher, Bandit. Let's go Tails, final answer.
All right, real confident on that one, Carey. Here we go. Question 3. What is Kansas City's oldest major barbecue restaurant, owned and operated by the same family?
Let's go Gates, final answer.
Question number 4. In April of 1614, Pocahontas married whom?
Oh, Pocahontas. Oh, is it Lewis or Clark? Hell, I don't know. Is that Sacagawea? Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Give me the options, please.
Options are John Smith, John Rolfe, or Sir Thomas Dale.
It's John Smith. Final answer.
All right.
That was a complete guess as well. Random does that to you.
Let's go over these. Glenn versus Carey. Random trivia.
Glenn feels like a person that knows random trivia. I will say that.
Well, let's find out.
All right.
COVID concerns threw a major wrench into the 2020 U.S. box office, but what was the highest grossing movie that year? Glenn, you took the options, you went Minions. Carey, you took the options, you went Minions. Correct answer is...
It is Bad Boys for Life, gentlemen.
Boys for Life. Grossing $206.31 million.
Was that the movies watching that? Not during COVID.
So you participated in that $206 million.
I guess.
And you said Minions.
Was it early 2020?
Maybe.
Had to be. Right?
Obviously.
Yeah. 0-0.
Oh, shoot.
In April 1614, Pocahontas married whom? Carey, after you heard the options, you go, it's John Smith. Glenn, though, right away said John Smith.
I told you, he knows his trivia. This is random trivia at that.
Well, let's find out. Correct answer is...
Yeah, it's John Rolfe.
John Rolfe. Or Rolfie. John Rolfe married Pocahontas. John Smith, I think, was the guy from the Disney movie.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
So it
Not
wasn't
the
Lewis
same.
or Clark, huh?
Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and
not,
Clark,
not in the
nope.
conversation.
Nope. So we're still 0-0 here. Name Sonic the Hedgehog's trusty sidekick and best friend. Carey, after hearing the options, you said Tails. Well, you said they all sound right, and then you went Tails. Glenn, you also went with Tails. Correct answer is...
It is Tails.
But Glenn did not need the options.
No.
So Glenn has a 2-1 lead over Carey. It comes down to this. What is Kansas City's oldest major barbecue restaurant, owned and operated by the same family? Carey, rather quickly, you said Gates. Glenn, you said Arthur Bryant's. If it's Arthur Bryant's or any other barbecue sauce known to man, Glenn wins. Actually, I should say any other barbecue sauce known to man not named Gates. Yeah. Since Carey did not use the options, if Gates is the correct answer, Carey wins. So we're going to have a winner regardless. There will be no walk-off. Glenn.
You have chosen wisely.
But you did not get the answer correct. Correct answer is?
It is Rosedale Barbecue.
Rosedale Barbecue. So, Glenn, you won on knowing Tails off the top of your head. You beat Carey today 2-1. Congratulations.
Good
You'll
job,
be back
Glenn.
tomorrow.
What a banger. That was great.
Nice job. We'll call you tomorrow, man.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
You got it. You too. I would have gotten all these wrong. Actually, I might have gotten Tails with the options, but I would have said John Smith too.
The kids aren't watching Sonic the Hedgehog?
Nah.
The new movies?
They are, but I still would need somebody
Where's
to...
Crasher and Bandit from? I know those are...
There's Crash and Bandicoot, or I think that's the name of...
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash
That's
Bandicoot.
Barracuda.
Yeah, no.
It's different.
What?
I don't know.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah, that's the video
Maybe that's
game.
why I heard
But Tails is the I think he's a fox. He's yellow.
Yeah.
The yellow fox is his tail spins and he can fly.
Yep.
Hence the name, Tails. It's appropriate.
You have like Shadow. I think you have Knuckles. Dr. Robotnik.
Oh,
Of course.
I actually watched
Or
that
Mr.
movie.
Robotnik,
Now
whatever his
that
name
I
is.
think about it. I saw the movie.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's in it.
Yeah. It's not
didn't
bad.
remember. Yeah.
Jim Carrey does a great job with
Bad
the
Boys for
villain.
Life bothers me. I definitely
Sorry.
thought
Now,
it
what? That was the third one?
That's the third one. Yeah.
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 You were like there. That was the third.
Because
Yeah.
it felt like it should have been the fourth one, For Life.
Right.
Somebody in marketing needs to.
No, this is For Life. They knew that was going to be
They were
it.
talking about, no, they said they're going to make another one.
Oh. Can anybody find Will Smith?
Well, I don't know. Chris Rock can.
don't think he wants to.
Not either.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Hey, leave us a mic drop. What's going to give you confidence? We talked about this earlier. What's going to give you confidence in the Cardinals as the season begins? So we're watching games already. You can even say the first month of the season. Like, what's going to be the thing that gives you confidence? Leave us a mic drop. We'll play it throughout the course of the rest of the show here. We'll give you a chance to kind of get those in. Let's talk a little football here. Is being great in big moments due to elevating your game or remaining consistent when the lights become too bright for others? Kind of an interesting question. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and did you know that the weather can impact your window? Hot days and cold nights can cause caulk to crack, seal failures, and condensation. Window Nation not only uses the top-of-the-line material, they will make sure your windows are set right. If your energy bills are a little bit high at times, it's time to replace those windows. Window Nation is giving you 50% off of all window styles. That's all window styles. You pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Now is the time to protect your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade the look and feel of your home. As I said, 50% off of all windows. Put 0 down, 0 interest, and pay 0 payments for 24 months. They can install your new windows in a day or less, and that new window will come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation's professional installation team have over 10 years of experience. Just reach out to them today at 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or visit them at windownation.com and tell them Carey sent you.
Number 15 reminds me a lot of number 23.
Yeah. And then to go smaller picture, like to the game, the guy here reminds me of is a guy I covered at Derek Jeter, who I always felt like was not a player who raised his game in the big moments, but a player who kept himself exactly the same in the big moments.
That's right.
Moments that made other people play worse or panic. Yeah. And I think Mahomes' ability what you hear in that news conference, his ability to keep his focus on what's in front of him and not worry about all that other stuff, I think that is a key part of the reason he's so successful. Look, as he continues to have success, as he continues to win, we're going to hear the outside noise saying, oh, he gets too much, he's overhyped. He's not.
Dan Graziano on Get Up, and he was talking about Patrick Mahomes being compared to Jeter. And this is an interesting question. I like this. Is being great in big moments due to elevating your game or remaining consistent when the lights may be too bright for others? I have a thought, but Carey, you actually played in the highest of moments here. You played in a Super Bowl. You won a Super Bowl. You saw Big Ben. You saw Kurt Warner. And I don't want to just, leave it up to the quarterbacks. We could go other sports, but what do you think? Do you think it's big moments, you elevate your game, or is it just being consistent when the lights get too bright for other athletes?
I think it's consistency. I think there are, the brighter the moment, some people shrink in those moments. And the great ones, for somehow, some way, some reason, they're not bothered by it, or they're not moved by that moment. It's not too big for them. And you can watch a game and tell when a person is, it's getting to them a little bit. They start maybe holding on to the ball a little bit tighter. You see a guy shooting a free throw, maybe he pulls it a little bit more than normally. It's just something is off in that pressure. They know the moment that they're in, and it bites them in the butt. But when you are an elite, high-level special talent like Patrick Mahomes is, like Derek Jeter, like Michael Jordan, those moments don't faze you. Yeah. I don't think that I don't know if they don't get worried or concerned, but they just know I'm going to outlast the person on the other side. Yeah. And if I just stay more consistent, then it's probably going to work out in my favor.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. That was my original thought. I think that when it comes to athletes that are great in big moments, everything slows down. They did the sports science, I think, on Big Papi, where it's like his heart rate slowed down in the biggest moments of games. I think that's what happens for guys. You never see Tom Brady, when Tom Brady played, you never see him be panicked. He was going to take what the defense gave him in the first quarter, take what the defense gave him in the fourth quarter. But in the fourth quarter, with the game on the line, those wind up being bigger moments and bigger plays. Right. Yet he was making those plays in the first quarter too. Yeah. I think it's that even level of play. It's fun to talk about the highlights. I mean, it's fun to talk about the big highlight throws, and we've seen that out of Josh Allen. Like when Josh Allen scrambled on a longer third down play and wound up hitting Shakir right inside. Yeah. I mean, that's a big, like he elevated his play there. Right. But didn't win the game. Ultimately, it wasn't on Josh Allen. It's a team sport. But you see what I'm saying here? It's fun to talk about the highlights. But those guys that are just completely even keel.
You got a good example of that last week. Well, 2 weeks ago now in the AFC Championship game with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. I told you that I don't think the Ravens were scared of the moment, but a little bit in awe. It's your first time in that moment, an opportunity, one game away from making it to the Super Bowl. You realize what that means. Like, you start thinking about what that means as opposed to being in the moment and focusing, dialing in solely on what's taking place in front of you. If you start thinking about outside factors and, if I make this catch, if I don't get this first down, if I don't block this pass rusher, then you're out of it. Yeah. And I think when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes specifically, he's a person that does not get moved by the moment. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it almost feels like it's been that way from the moment he got there. Like it never felt too big for him. And it comes from having the confidence in, knowing what you're doing. Like, if you know what you're doing, right, and trust that the coaches, your teammates, everybody's going to be in the right place or put you in the right place, you have more confidence. So it's trust, knowing what you're doing, and then having an ability that, he gave you a little bit more than he gave that guy. Right. That's really the only way to put it. Some people got a little bit more, some people got a little bit less. Sure. Some people got to work a little bit harder, but when that guy that got more, works as hard, then you're probably out of luck.
Right. It's that old quote, right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't
work hard.
Yeah. It's the opposite. Like you just described.
If you got talent and you're willing to work hard. Don Beebe used to train me, and he's had the funniest quote that I ever heard. He's like, hey, man, you can't put in what God left out. And God left nothing out in terms of Patrick Mahomes as being the quarterback. He is just a special talent and works hard, the work ethic, the knowledge. And then he got paired up with a savant. A football genius in Andy Reid, which probably took his game, to a completely different level than maybe if it was someone else.
Yeah. Did you go to Don Beebe's speed camp?
I did.
Yeah.
Don Beebe had me rolling.
Like laughing or?
No.
Oh.
Rolling.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I was running.
He was one of the assistant coaches in my senior year of high school on the football team.
Awesome.
He's a good guy.
Very, very to the point, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like, no.
You're slow. Okay, thank you, Coach Beebe.
He doesn't play around.
Yeah, come to my camp. But it won't matter.
Don't touch the ball on the punt return.
Yeah.
Don't touch the ball on the punt return.
This is my moment. Marsh is describing me in high school.
Was he coaching at that time? I would love to know what his response was when you fielded that punt that they told you not to field.
Year that I did that? Or was that junior year?
Don't field the punt.
Yeah,
all right.
This is my time. I told this story. I think I told this on air, but I think I told this the other day. We were playing at Northern Illinois Stadium, Husky Stadium, whatever the hell they're called, in DeKalb, Illinois, because we were playing DeKalb High School, and that's where they played their home games. And we were beating them badly. I played safety.
Mm-hmm.
So they had me. It was late in the game. Like I said, we're beating them bad. We didn't know if they were going to punt or not.
Right.
So we didn't want to have an entire punt team on. So they just told me to back up. Like, hey, you're safety, back up. Yeah. So as I'm backing up, my head coach is screaming at me, don't field it, just fair catch or get away from it. We'll put the offense on the field and we'll run out the clock here. I said, okay, no problem. Sure enough, they punted it, and this ball comes bounding toward me. I mean, it is perfect. It is like a shortstop's dream. That type of ground ball that just end over end over end. And something in my head goes, blanket, this is my time. So I scooped that thing up. We're not in punt coverage. We're not in punt return. Nobody's blocking. This is our regular defense. Nobody cares. Nobody's blocking at this point. I look up, and there are 4 or 5 DeKalb players, right in my face. And one dude put the crown of his helmet perfectly on the football. Boom. Ball comes out. I get crushed. And as I'm laying there, all I can hear is Stalter on the fumble. Number 34, Stalter fumbled. Thanks.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah. So I put my head down and just went back to the huddle. I didn't go to the sidelines because we were back on defense again.
It must have been all those cameras that were flashing, right?
Yeah,
Carey talked about it
cameras going on. Yeah, big high school game. Absolutely, Marsh. Yep. I don't know if BB was there at that point. All right, it's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. I'm sure he would have. Are you kidding me? That guy? Yeah, like I said, I didn't go to the sidelines. I didn't even look over there. And then when I eventually went to the sidelines, I just avoided the head coach. Like, forget this. We won. It was fine. Mic drops on the Cardinals. What is going to give you confidence in your Cardinals if you see it in April? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, last year at the Super Bowl, Rob Gronkowski went wide left on FanDuel's Kick of Destiny. He's a tight end. He wasn't a kicker.
No, probably smart to just fade him.
I don't know. Well, he's back for Kick of Destiny 2, and this time you can play along All you have to do is choose if Gronk will make or miss. You heard Anthony, he thinks he's going to miss. Get your free pick in right now, because if you're right, you'll win a share of the $10 million in bonus bets.
Well, I'm just thinking, I mean, how much is he actually practicing? I've seen the commercials where like, hey, this is your time. I don't think so, Gronk, but it's up to you. Everyone can get on the action when Gronk takes his shot at redemption before Super Bowl 58. Whether your team make or team miss, just head to FanDuel Sportsbook app, get your pick in. It's absolutely free to play. Then tune in before the game to see Gronk's kick live, and you're going to win a share of $10 million in bonus bets if you're right. If you're new to FanDuel, just visit FanDuel.com/fast to sign up. Again, FanDuel.com/fast to sign up, and you can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
21 and older, present in Illinois, no purchase necessary, $10 million prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct pick. Prize issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action on Saturday, taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Pregame starts at 11. Puck drop is at 12. We talked earlier today with our guy, Jamie Rivers. We'll also talk with Joe Vitale at 5:30, so stay tuned for that. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you get to the website or use the free 101 mobile app. Go to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. After the Blues take on the Buffalo Sabres, they'll go to Montreal and take on the Canadiens on Sunday with the pregame starting at 11, puck drop at 12, and then after that we have Super Bowl 58 for you with the coverage starting at 4 right here on 101 ESPN. Also today, it was announced that the Blues will take on the Chicago Blackhawks in the Winter Classic in 2025. We talked a little bit about that at the start of the show as well as with Jamie. But we're going to dive into your mic drops regarding the Cardinals and the PECOTA standings. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Hey guys, here's the thing about PECOTA. The word sounds like the last name of Abe Vigoda. Abe Vigoda played Sal Tessio in The Godfather, and he was whacked. And that's what should happen to PECOTA. It's either way over or way under on the Cardinals every single year. Abe Vigoda, Sal Tessio, whacking.
All right, that's interesting. Yeah, I like the reference. It's interesting. He brought a little flavor to it. That was Chris. Appreciate the mic drop. In all actuality, I mean, PECOTA, he says, he's either way over or way under. They were last year. They were minus 15. PECOTA was from their projection, which was 86 wins. Oh, boy. Carey's got the glasses on. 71 was the actual wins. It was minus 15. The year before was a plus 12. Plus 9, plus 5, plus 4, plus 7, plus 4, plus 11. So, yeah.
Well, Anthony, last year doesn't really count. We were the World Baseball Classic. So many injuries. Guys were not healthy from the start. And no one knew that. PECOTA, Dakota, whoever, they didn't know. So now this year is probably more of an actual representation of what this St. Louis Cardinals team is going to be. 85.5 wins. Again, we don't know how you get the half. Let's just go 86 because we expect 86 plus.
Yeah.
90 wins, Central Division winning champion. They're going to win the division, and then you go on into the playoffs. And talk about the LA Dodgers, right? What do they do in the playoffs, huh? They fold. You want to take on this Kershaw guy. You want to see him in the playoffs, don't you? I do. If I'm the Cardinals, I want to see him. I like my chances if I got to go against that guy. NLCS, NLDS, sign me up. Because what are they going to do? They're going to do what they normally do. What about the Braves? What did they do last year? Nothing. So, therefore, you got a chance. If you win, you're in. What are we complaining about? Dakota, PECOTA, we're going to win the championship. Not just the Central. The whole thing.
I just had a vision.
All right.
NLCS. It's October.
Welcome back, Carey.
It's the 6th inning.
Lost you there.
The Dodgers are beating the Cardinals. The score is 4-2. Now pinch hitting for the Cardinals, number 13.
Let's hear this going.
Matt Carpenter.
Yeah.
As he doubles down the right field line. 2-run score.
Right, yeah.
Carpenter's at second, and then the next guy drives him in, and the Cardinals end up winning 5-4.
Yeah.
And they take game number 4 as they're down 3-1 in the series.
Wow, that took a turn. That was a little rough there, Marsh.
They won, though.
They did, yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what happens in Game 5 now.
No. Don't worry about that.
Hey, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, certainly. Carey, just going back to the whole, World Baseball Classic thing, which is a great point.
Yeah.
I feel like
they didn't have time to work together.
I feel like other teams also.
Wilson didn't know their pitches, Anthony.
You think you would know the pitches that these guys have?
He didn't know the pitchers. How would he know the pitches?
Shouldn't look that hard.
I don't know. I don't think it was.
Carey, I've heard this excuse from others. Didn't other teams send players to the World Baseball Classic?
I'll be honest. I hate the excuse. You're
not wearing your glasses anymore.
I hate the World Baseball Classic excuse because everyone else had to deal with it. You're not alone in that. And so the team just wasn't good last year. Let's put that out there. Offensively, not good enough. Defensively, definitely not good enough. Pitching, starting, bullpen, not good enough. It was bad from top to bottom.
Yes,
and so you lost 71 games. You lost 91 games because of it. You won 71. That's what you got out of last season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about what the expectations were. I'm not an expected goal type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about expected wins. I don't care what PECOTA says until I actually see this team perform day in and day out with the ability to have the success that they're supposed to have. If you're going to be a good team, you take care of your business more often than not. And last season, this team didn't do it well enough. They weren't good enough in any facet. On any level. I don't know if you were who was the team MVP. I don't know who they named the team MVP, but in your opinion, who could you say consistently was the player that you trusted the most last season?
First half, Jordan Montgomery. Second half, Richie Palacios.
Wow. Where are those guys at now?
One's available.
He's not coming here.
If I'm going to pick one consistent player all season long, honestly, it was probably Contreras. Right?
Yeah, maybe,
I mean,
probably.
From start to finish, maybe Tommy
I would say Tommy Edman as well.
Tommy Edman was really good. But Contreras offensively was outstanding for you.
I think he did a fantastic job, which if your team imploded in the way that it did, that speaks volumes from top to bottom. It has to be better. And it starts at the top. It starts with leadership. It starts with people not making excuses, not pointing fingers and blaming other people. I have to be better. If you are a manager, if you're the president of baseball operations, hell, if you're the owner, it starts with you all. And it trickles down and it becomes what the fabric of the team is based on what the ownership and what everybody in those leadership positions do and say. And if they're not saying or doing the right things, then your team is going to be terrible.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day, as Michael Shrooms Bublé would say.
I got to get those. I got to get those glasses and smash them for sure. All right, we didn't hear from Lisa, Richard, or Robert, so let's get to them next as we continue this. But you can leave us a mic drop too on this topic. What will give you confidence? Maybe it's just the PECOTA standings. But what's going to give you confidence if you see it early in the season with the Cardinals? The season's going to be, I don't know, maybe halfway decent, maybe even great. We'll get to your mic drops that are in right now and get to some others here on 101 ESPN. Hey, when it comes to mentality is going to do a couple things for you, just like they did for Jamie and I. One, they're going to give you a full blood panel to see what's going on if you're experiencing things like fatigue, lack of focus, no energy. You had energy before, and then all of a sudden maybe work just got overwhelming, or maybe it was a combination of just your responsibilities at home and work, and you want to get back on track. You know that you're capable of more, but you also don't necessarily know what's going on. And as guys, we get older, testosterone decreases, and we don't feel the same, and we are fatigued more, and we are lacking that drive and focus. Well, with mentality, they're going to test you out. It's a very safe process. They're first going to have a consultation with you, just to see what's going on, talk to you about how you're feeling. If you're out open and honest, like Jamie and I was, then they'll proceed with the blood panel. And for Jamie and I, we were low on T. We were low on certain vitamins. And then you'd start their program. You start to feel a little better. You start to feel a little better. Then all of a sudden, 3 months in, you're working out, you're eating right, you're on top of your game when it comes to the responsibilities at home and at work. You're like, man, why didn't I go down to mentality a lot sooner? Visit one of their 2 locations, either in South County or in Chesterfield. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you, or just start right now at lowtusa.com. It's mentality. continue with the mic drops related to the Cardinals question that we threw out. What's going to give you a little bit of confidence in your Redbirds if you see it early in the season? And just to reset things a little bit, I had mentioned how I know they don't have Atlanta's roster. I know they don't have the Dodgers roster. I know they don't have the Phillies roster. I know that this is an above-average roster that's capable of winning the NL Central if the pitching is significantly better. But one thing that would give me confidence and almost get me excited would be if I see them do one thing at like an elite level. Because I do think you have to have, and it's got to be pitching. It would be nice if it was pitching. But if they could do just one thing at an elite level, knowing they have an above-average roster, that would get me excited. Because at least that one thing could be on display throughout the year that could give opponents issues night in and night out. So that's where I'm at on it.
When I look at the roster, I don't think they're far off in terms of what they're capable of.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Atlanta's roster, the Dodgers roster. I was going to.
Well, I don't want to make that comparison.
Nor should you,
but
like at all.
Hold on. Give me a second, because when you are looking at, well, I won't do it. I just said I won't do it. Matt Olson and Paul Goldschmidt.
Matt Olson.
By a hair.
By a knot of hair.
Maybe a little bit more. We don't have to go.
How long is that hair?
Austin Riley or Nolan Arenado?
Coming off of last year, I'll take Austin Riley.
All right. Okay, we don't have to do any more.
No, do the outfield.
Those were
Why don't you go ahead and do the outfield there, Carey?
Too.
Oh, okay.
Sean Murphy or Wilson Contreras?
Sean Murphy.
Really?
Yeah. Wilson Contreras, better hitter. Murphy, better all-around player.
I can't do second base because I don't know who the hell is our second baseman.
It doesn't matter. Ozzie Albies versus whoever you want.
Tommy Edman?
He's your center fielder. That's correct.
He's my second baseman in my story.
You're not going to take him over Ozzie Albies. Carey, if you think I'm being mean, I told you not to do this.
We won't do Ronald Acuna and Jordan Walker.
There you go. All right.
Maybe you got a point. Well, but my point is, they ain't that far off. The Braves are the standard in the National League. We can admit to that, right?
Them or the Dodgers?
Either or. Tomato. Yeah, I don't want to do it with the Dodgers either.
Carey, I think if you look at the PECOTA standings, they're about 15 games off, actually.
Yeah, about.
Cardinals 15,
are third, 16.
But third by a country
mile. With that
mile.
being said, the difference for me is the pitching of those other organizations. Like the disparity is much greater for the starting rotations. And so if the Cardinals do get the pitching that they need, because that was a rough go last year, the pitching.
In what ways?
It wasn't good. In every way, pick a way. You decide. You tell me. You'd be better off telling me what way it was good.
Fair. It's absolutely fair.
It wasn't great at all. And so if the pitching is better and the hitting comes along, you got some younger guys that I think have a lot of potential. Lars Nootbaar, I still want more. I want to see more. I want to see more from Jordan Walker. I want to see more. Tommy Edman at center field, I guess. But let's hope that they are better than they were last year as a whole.
All right, let's get to Lisa, who left this mic drop.
Hey, Anthony, what will give us confidence, or some of us anyway? Bases loaded, no outs. They don't pee down their leg, and they score runs. What will give me confidence is smart plays, smart base running. Yeah, good pitching, but the other nuances have to be there. You have to play smart defense, throw to the right bag, run the bases correctly. If there's somebody standing at third, the ability to situational hit and drive the run home. So that's what will give me confidence, and there you go. All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, great stuff. Yeah. Hey, honestly, it plays into, Carey, what you've been saying about the fundamentals. If they're not beating themselves, I think Cardinals fans right now are so starved for that like hard nine, a team that is just so ferociously competitive and that's not going to pee down their legs.
Don't do that.
As Lisa so eloquently put it. But not shrink in moments. You've got the base loaded. You got runners on. You got a runner in scoring position. Late in a game, less than 2 outs, you need a big hit. How many times are you delivering that? early in the season. You got to set the tone. And by the way, Lisa texted it at one point when I was telling that high school football,
Illinois.
Yeah, and I said Northern Illinois Stadium.
Yeah,
she was giving me a hard time about saying. I say Illinois,
correct,
but I was saying Northern Illinois Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not Ron Zook.
No.
Who had no idea that when he was named the head coach, he was happy to be the head coach of the University of Illinois.
Yeah, no, it's
ridiculous.
Right.
You should have fired him right then.
You know what? Are not going to work out.
Mistake. You shouldn't be here.
All right, let's hear from Richard next.
For me, it's simple. I want to see the starting rotation, at least 3, if not 4 of them, get into the 6th inning with maybe 3 runs or less with no more than 80 to 85 pitches. I think if we can get that kind of consistency, we might be in store for a good season.
Is that on the pitchers or, well, the that part is, but getting to the 6th inning and being allowed to continue to pitch. That is on the pitchers. It is, but there were times last year where it seemed to me that a guy had a little bit more to give and was taken out of the game.
Well, they better leave him in. That's the whole point. Why they brought him in, right?
Right. Yeah, that's Marsh. Excellent point. You're right. If you're gonna say, hey, we want innings eaters, let's go out and get 3 innings eaters, and then you're taking them out in the 5th
and the 6th inning. Yeah. They don't want to they don't want him to face the lineup the 3rd time.
I do think what you have here, though, in Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, Miles Michaelis, Sonny Gray, you do have guys that understand pitching. Justin Verlander is the king of this. He knows he doesn't have to throw as hard as humanly possible in the first 3 innings just to set some sort of tone. He is painting a masterpiece so that in the 8th, he can rear back, and he's still got 97. Yeah. That's pitching.
Anthony, we're not going to have pitchers pitching in the 8th inning. You stop that.
We'll have bullpen guys.
Not starters. We'll have a pitcher pitching.
Sonny Gray will get into the 7th and 8th.
Miles Michaelis will, too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count
every other month. I knew you were going with that. I knew you were going with that. All right. Robert's got the last word on this.
Hey, guys, in terms of what would give me confidence with the Cardinals, just don't let April be too much. I mean, last year I felt like it was we had to win and perform all right away, and everyone was like all this pressure. It's like everyone's walking around on eggshells, and with a lot of new guys, a lot of drama. I don't want drama in April. Please. I hope they all pull it together during spring training. They take it seriously. There's no World Baseball Classic to point the fingers at. Let's just have an over 500 April. Start off on the right foot. Get the ball rolling in the right direction. I mean, you're going to go up against the Dodgers like super early. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows, but let's just take a little bit of a prism effect coming out of the ups and downs. That's it.
Say a prison effect. So
prism.
That's where you go. That's when you go in. You pick out the biggest, baddest dude, and you jack him right in the face.
Prism.
And then when you get in the cafeteria, you guard your food. You eat it real quick. So
that's prison.
I mean, guys, think about it. If the Cardinals did that, they set a tone. Yeah. I think Robert's onto something here.
I don't know.
They need that prison mentality.
You're saying go in immediately, sock the biggest dude right in the face?
The Dodgers are up first, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Newt's got to walk up and punch Shohei right in the mouth.
Wow.
No?
I don't think you want to start the season off that way.
I think they're best friends, too.
Even better. Won't see it coming.
Won't see it coming. Won't expect it at all.
And the pregame meal, everybody just hunches over and they eat real quick.
I like that. That's what Kobe Bryant did against Paul Gasol in the Olympics.
He did.
Ran right through him.
And how did the late, great Kobe do in the NBA?
He did
pretty damn well. Yeah. He's got the Mamba. He had the Mamba mentality.
Prison mentality.
Cardinals got the prison mentality.
Oh, my.
All thanks to Robert.
I don't know that that's what they should do. Sorry.
We can agree to disagree. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. The Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. We'll have our Sports Six back next. I needed something taken care of at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum today, and I got on the phone, talked to my guy Jerry. Jerry's like, no problem, I got you covered. That's not just because it's me. It's because I'm one of their customers. They take care of you, the customer. You purchase from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. It's not, hey, let's just get you into the vehicle as fast as humanly possible, get this sale, and move on down the road. No, that's why they offer you, after the great deals up front, the great financing options and financing options for everyone. Good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter. At Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have financing options for everyone. But on top of that, they also offer you great deals when it comes to the service department following your purchase of the vehicle, so that you know you could take your car or your truck, your van, right back to the same spot. They're going to put the same outstanding quality into servicing your car, your truck, your van, your SUV, as they did when you purchased it. At Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, yeah, great deals, complimentary lifetime warranty, financing options for everyone, over 700 vehicles on the lot, one spot in Herculaneum, but they take care of you. Sale, the service, they do it better than anybody. When you head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer me! The Sports Six-Pack is now.
.501, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number one.
From the 618, call the Dodgers and Braves the NL Standard. I agree. How many playoff games have the Standard won the last 2 years? This is why getting in the playoffs matters, even if we make fun of Mo for saying it.
Can I just...
How many championships have they won in the last 5?
3?
2 or 3?
Dodgers won in 2020.
Braves
Atlanta won in 21.
Yes.
And in 20.
No.
Yeah, they just got one.
They just have one.
Yeah.
Should have been more.
But they got 2. How many do Cardinals have?
Goose egg.
Okay, just checking.
I also, can I just
You have your hand up. Yeah.
Didn't Atlanta and the Dodgers also just get in?
Well, they got to end by a large margin.
They did.
Right. Like they get in consistently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a better chance.
All right.
Did that.
I'm not going to refute the idea of, hey, just get in, anything can happen, because you're going to throw the Arizona Diamondbacks in my face. You're going to throw some team from 2022 in my face.
That's what they had.
They had magic.
Well, they had pitching.
Pitching magic. Yeah.
The Cardinals have magic. They have devil magic.
Well,
they did.
They did. I haven't seen that devil magic in a while. Have you?
No.
Who was the last devil magic player? Brendan Ryan? Brendan Ryan. Brendan Donovan?
I was going to say, Nolan Ryan?
As soon as I said Brendan Ryan. Wouldn't you consider Donovan? Donovan had to be a devil magic player.
What do you consider devil magic?
Comes out of nowhere, winds up being really good, ticks off other teams, fan bases. Like, who the hell is this guy, and why does he keep
Where
beating
they
my
find him?
Yeah.
Where they get this guy from?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think of devil magic like the Cards going on a 17-game winning streak, or like a squirrel running across the field.
Pete Cosma is what you're thinking.
Yeah, Pete Cosma, who is Pete Cosma and hits a ball down the line, and they defeat the Nationals that they're losing.
Yeah,
by
I always thought devil magic was a player, like a devil magic player.
I think of moments.
Like Jeremy Hazelraker, you know? He had a little devil magic in him. Bo Hart, you know?
Luke and Baker? No?
Like
Taylor Motter?
Like Bo Hart.
Taylor Motter?
Oh, come on now.
Junio Kirikido?
I said these guys have to be good and beating the other. It's not about. Listen, Carey.
Oh, sorry.
It's not just about playing.
Okay, you're right.
You know.
Well, they didn't have one last year, then, Anthony.
This isn't the Tyler O'Neill standard of just let's just see if they can play.
They didn't have one last year then.
Okay,
because they lost 91 games.
Oh, actually, I think they did. I mean, they weren't in the playoffs.
Richie Palacios.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
And they traded their devil magic player.
Yep, that's gonna work.
To the
great
now, but used to be the Devil Rays.
Oh,
yeah.
Shoot.
Nice job, Marsh. I don't like that you did it, but nice job.
Question number 2.
This one comes from James. At what point did Eric Bieniemy fall from grace?
Carey, you've been kind of asking this. I've just always said it's got to be something. It's got to be something. The way he's coming across, the way that he is interviewing.
From everyone, he has been the way that he is for as long as he's been that way. As long as he's been coaching, even when he was playing, from what I've heard. He's very intense, very intentional in how he speaks and matter of fact.
Yeah.
And everyone is not, he's not
charismatic.
Delicate. Yeah. He's more, from what I've been told, more abrasive. And that may rub people the wrong way. And when you're in Kansas City under Andy Reid, maybe some of those things aren't. Andy Reid can soften some of that. Mm-hmm. Ron Rivera clearly did not to start the season off.
I don't think Ron knew what day it was.
He may not have. He didn't even know he could make the playoffs the year before, did he?
Dude, no.
He's like, we can make the playoffs?
Right.
What is going on here? But he kind of let Eric Bieniemy stand out there on an island on his own at the beginning of the season, then dialed it back. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's obviously a good coordinator, but everybody that's a good coordinator is not a good head coach.
Right.
There are some people that do not communicate well or effectively in a team setting. When you only have to handle one side of the ball, it's a little bit easier. And then sometimes they get a head coaching job, and you see why they don't do well. Mm-hmm. Steve Spagnuolo was a terrible head coach, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's a hell of a defensive coordinator.
Boy, the Chiefs have just, Andy Reid has had his guy, his DC now. Because nobody's going to, like you said, nobody's going to touch Spags as a head coach. It's perfect.
Yeah. Just let those guys run their own organization, run it into the ground, and come on, I'll fix it.
Yep.
You do a hell of a job doing this.
No kidding.
Just can't lead a team.
No.
Yeah.
Question number 3.
Interesting question here from the 314. Do you guys think cities who have multiple sports teams like Pittsburgh should keep the colors the same throughout?
I do. I like it.
I kind of like it too.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is the only city that does that, where all 3 of the major league sports wear the same color.
It sounds right.
Fact check me on that if you want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, Arizona, the Suns wear a different color.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Baltimore, They only got one team.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Well,
Orioles.
Yeah, they got the two teams.
They don't wear the same color.
Nope.
Chicago? Nope.
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 Detroit?
Nope.
Nope. LA? They got 15 teams. No.
The only one I can remember is when
Seattle.
Oakland was in LA, or not Oakland, but the Raiders when they were in LA, and then the Kings were black and silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you got
But
the
all
Rams.
three. I mean, that's
Right.
awesome.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Florida,
Miami. Heat. Dolphins.
The Seattle has sort of a similar kind of
baseball and
color
hockey.
scheme.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mariners and Kraken kind of do.
Yeah, well, and the Seahawks, it's like that blue and teal and like light
darker.
blue.
That's your closest.
That's probably the
That's
closest.
the closest.
That's the closest. Yeah, it's not Pittsburgh where it's. I mean, every single team is black, white, and gold. I mean, that's great.
How would that work here in St. Louis? You would just have to have like a blue and navy color scheme then.
I don't mind those Cardinals dark navy blue helmets. I like those a lot.
Those are sweet.
Those caps are awesome.
Yeah, I like the baby blue.
I've started to become contrarian on baby blue because remember when every team would have the black alternative and everybody's like, oh, just black for sake of black when it comes to the jersey, right? I feel like now we've gone to like baby blue for the sake of baby blue.
It's an awesome color.
There's one team that does it incredibly well. Does it better than anybody.
Is it the Phillies?
It's the Texans.
No.
I mean the Oilers, not the Oilers.
No.
The Titans.
No.
It is
In
the
baseball?
Titans.
The Titans?
The love you blue. Oh yeah.
That's the Chargers. Come on, guys. The baby blue Chargers.
With the gold?
No, not with the gold. That's a nasty look. But like LT days?
No.
The baby blue Superchargers?
It doesn't do anything for me. The Titans, Oilers. Yeah.
The Oilers, yes.
The Titans wear it now. They wear the same color scheme. It's the same thing.
Okay, if they go back to that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, when they wear it. That's what I'm talking about.
But their like Tennessee Titan uniform is the 19 shades of blue.
No, I hate that. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah.
I feel like every team in the 80s had powder blue jerseys, if that was their color scheme.
Yeah. Cardinals. Were you here when Marshy almost passed away on us the other day?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, buddy?
Yeah, I was choking on water. I almost died.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, he was
choking on that high quality H2O.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad.
Jamie and I were like, oh.
What day was that?
You weren't here.
Wednesday or Thursday of last week. You forgot you weren't here.
I had 107-degree fever on
And
Saturday.
I was the one on the verge of dying.
Yeah. I was seeing things on Saturday.
You didn't see me choking on water, though.
No, I didn't.
No, you did not.
I'll go back on the Air Alliance Team YouTube channel. Shout out to the Snake Pit today.
Would the Blues work with a little bit of red? I know we've seen that in the past.
No. Nope.
They're actually called the Blues.
Well, red would be like an accent color.
Nope.
You don't like the clown jerseys?
I don't.
You didn't like the red accent on the Blues jersey that they used to have? Was it red and gold? When they had the red and the,
no red on the Blues jerseys.
on the shoulder, sleeve?
Okay. No, thank you.
All right.
Question number 4.
I don't know what you want from me. Well, the answer is no.
Speaking of the Blues, Winter Classic 2025, that means we'll have a new jersey, new uniform, right?
Yeah.
What do you see them doing? What era do you think that they'll draw their uniform from? Will there be red in it?
I hope
Should be.
Why?
Why not?
Because I don't like the red in those jerseys. Jamie's talked about that. Jamie wore that jersey at one point.
He didn't like it either?
No. Of course he didn't. I don't know. Maybe the Hull? Like the Hull era?
Oh, you mean when he wore red?
No,
vintage, 90 vintage? Yeah.
No.
I'm looking at the 1984 to 1987. So that jersey, it had the blue note, but it said Blues on top of it.
Ooh.
I would like to see that.
Instead of the logo. Well, they got the logo,
it
but it's smaller logo. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. And maybe they take the red out and they put like a different shade of blue.
What year did you say?
So 1984 to 1987. There's two different variations, and it's because of the piping on the sleeves and on the bottom
I actually
half.
like that.
I like it. It's a different look.
With that. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same look, like it's part of the organization, but it's like a different look for this modern day.
Can they come up with something new for the Winter Classic? Or it's got to be a classic.
I mean, they do come up with new jersey schemes, like Vegas and Seattle. They were new. Like obviously they have older hockey teams from that area that they draw inspiration from.
Sure.
But I'd like to see that.
All right.
I am.
How many questions do we get to, Marsh?
We are at question number 5.
All right. Why don't we do this one, and then we'll call it.
Question number 5.
From the 217, for Carey, how did NFL players talk about Oakland? Do you think it's ownerships or the area?
Oh, well, Oakland was you knew that was the black hole. It was dangerous in those Oakland stands if you were going to play there for opposing teams. But I think their fan base, for me, well, first of all, players that play for if you ever get a chance to talk to an Oakland Raider and about just sit down and enjoy the conversation.
Some good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit lawless from what I've been told at times in terms of how the players were, but in general, I think that fan base just crazy. Just enjoyed their Oakland Raiders and appreciate their Raiders. Whether it was when they were in LA or in Oakland, just that the black hole is
that's a thing.
It's a thing. And so, they were a great fan base, in my opinion. Showed up in spiked shoulder pads and face painted and felt like the entire crowd.
Yeah.
So, be careful, though.
I don't know what's worse, though, when you get backed up to the black hole in Oakland or when you get backed up in Pittsburgh. Because don't you guys play... Do you play the Hangman's song? Is that when...
That's when it's only in the beginning of some point in the third quarter.
There was one time I think the Rams got backed up, and it was just one of those times where it's like, would you say the end of the third quarter?
Sometime in the third quarter, usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were maybe I'm just thinking of a time the Rams got backed up like that, and they played Renegade.
Yeah.
I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, it's a.
Here comes the 3 and out. Good luck, Rams.
Yeah.
That was going to happen regardless if they played Renegade Marsh, but it was still.
It's usually some point in the third quarter, need a defensive stop.
Yeah.
And it just. You gotta be there to witness it.
I miss football teams playing on baseball diamonds.
That to me was beautiful. Unless you had to play on it.
That's terrible. Dolphins and the Raiders.
That's what you guys were doing. You got that shortstop hop.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was perfect turf. I said, screw this. I'm picking it up. Joe Vitale is going to join us in 15 minutes, but T-Bone Tanner said something kind of interesting today on BK and Ferrari, or maybe it was yesterday, about the NFL, how certain teams need a certain position to succeed. No, it's not quarterback. That is important. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
one thing that you have to have on your roster outside the quarterback for me offensively is a elite tight end or a tight end that can take his game to the next level in the postseason, because tight ends create such matchup problems because you then have to force a linebacker in to try and go out and cover a tight end in man-to-man, which is very tough. So look at all the teams that were in the conference championship game.
Right.
They all had great tight ends. I think you have to have a really good tight end now to have success in the NFL and go on a postseason run, because they are just such offensive nightmares. They're tough to scheme against. Who's going to be able to slow down Travis Kelce? I can tell you that is probably the number one thing Steve Wilkes is trying to figure out today. Not how does he slow down Patrick Mahomes, how does he keep the ball out of the hands of Travis Kelce?
That's our guy, Tanner Hendrickson, otherwise known as T-Bone from the BK Ferrario show, and I think he brings up really good points. He's right. If you look at the conference championship matchups, you got Travis Kelce of the Chiefs. You had Mark Andrews / Isaiah Likely of the Ravens. Sam Laporta, the local product for the Lions, who had just a remarkable season for them. And then George Kittle, who, in my opinion, is the best tight end in the league.
Really?
But he actually plays tight ends. Travis Kelce is a receiver. He's got the tight end label. But if you watch George Kittle will block your ass as just as much as he's going to beat you on a passing route. Travis Kelce is outstanding. I'm not saying anything. I just think they're different players. Travis Kelce's more of a receiver. He's not going to do a ton of blocking. Kittle's one of the better blockers in the league.
He will block
from a tight end standpoint.
Thinking about it, T-Bone probably has a point. I think when you have the tight end is a difficult matchup for most teams, because what are you going to put a safety on him? Well, he's probably bigger than your safety, and are you going to put a linebacker on? Other than Fred Warner, he's probably going to be faster than most of the linebackers that are trying to cover him.
Fred Warner's the exception to everything.
No, don't worry about it. I'll run with this guy. Yeah. But for the most part, it is a difficult matchup, and they're a big target generally in the middle of the field. So if you're a quarterback and the outside is covered, you don't want to make a risky throw. Throwing that ball over the middle of the field within open windows is going to a tight end that is a big person, generally helps you pick up a first down. So having an elite tight end definitely helps a quarterback, a younger quarterback and older quarterback. We saw it with Tom Brady. Him and Gronk had a great connection of touchdown passes and finding that guy open often, because it is a nightmare for defensive coordinators trying to match up with.
Yeah, you're right. The Gronk, when Gronk ran, he basically ran two routes, but you couldn't. You talk about another guy that would block.
Yeah.
Gronkowski was one of the best blockers from that position that we have seen. But when you got in the red zone, he was almost impossible to cover because Brady was going to put a perfect ball. If it was back of the end zone, it was going to be high. Yep. If it was in front of the end zone, it was going to be a little shorter. Mahomes he threw a perfect ball when Kyle Hamilton had outstanding coverage on Kelce in the AFC title game.
On the wheel route.
And Mahomes left it short and on the outside. Yeah. The only person that was going to catch that was Travis Kelce. In the entire stadium, Kelce was the only guy who was going to catch that ball.
Kyle Hamilton was right there. He didn't even know it was there, though. No. It was such a good pass, low and away.
Yep.
And Kyle Hamilton had no opportunity to do anything to try to prevent that pass from happening.
It was a great adjustment, great catch on that. But even going back, like Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham.
Yep.
It was impossible to get in the red zone for a couple of years there. Jimmy Graham on that post on the seam route and go right up the seam. He would either catch a linebacker and or a safety. Good luck.
Yeah,
he's gonna crush you. So I think T-Bone brings up a good point here because of the versatility.
Yeah, I agree. You can go out throughout. T.J. Hawkinson had a hell of a year before getting injured late there in the year. There are so many good tight ends. Dallas Goedert had a good year for the Eagles. There are guys that. It is a mismatch for defenders trying to cover that guy, and it becomes almost like a security blanket for the quarterback, knowing that tight end is sitting there in the middle of the field, probably not going to be extremely far downfield in most instances, but going up against guys that he's bigger than or guys that he's faster than, he can create separation.
Yeah.
It's a good – if you have a good one – Ferguson for the Cowboys came on the scene out of nowhere.
Yeah, they let go of Dalton Schultz, who had a good year last year. Brought in an even better player than Ferguson.
And Ferguson was able to be open often. And good hands, good speed, those guys are hard to come by. So, I don't disagree with Tanner.
Honestly, the NFL Even if we just did this real quick, we're going to get to Joe Vitale. So we did this with the AFC title game, but if we even go to the divisional rounds, so Dalton Schultz wound up with Houston, and he wound up having a decent season for them. Green Bay had a couple of guys there. You had Musgrove, and then I forget the other tight end. Who was it? Marsh, go ahead.
I believe his last name was Kraft.
Oh, Kraft. So you had Kraft and Musgrove in Green Bay. We already talked about Kittle.
Robert's son.
Yeah,
Robert's son. Yeah.
Her brother.
It was Croft.
Oh, is it Croft?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Croft.
Robert Kraft wanted Tyler Croft to be his son.
He did.
It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Tampa, I guess, didn't
Cade
have it.
Otton.
Cade Otton.
He had a big game.
He's wound up
when
having
they
a good year.
played. The Buffalo Bills got a couple of guys.
They have Dalton Kincaid and they have Knox. Dawson Knox had a good year last year, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll still take Dalton Kincaid early."
Right.
Yeah, it is a valuable position. Just ask Arthur Smith. He needed one this past year.
He got one now.
Actually, you know what? He had one last year. Jonnu Smith.
Oh yeah. Kyle Pitts is a receiver.
Yeah,
he'll get over it one day.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to talk to Joe Vitale next. We'll talk to him about the Winter Classic going to Wrigley Field between the Blues and the Blackhawks and get some second half thoughts post All-Star break with Joe next on 101 ESPN. We wanted to chat with Stuart from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation today, but when we gave him a call, I didn't pick up. Not because he's rude, but because he's helping a client right now. And when it comes to St. Louis and the buying market, you may not know whether or not it's a good time to buy. You might have questions. You might have questions about whether or not you can refinance, how quickly you can do so, whether or not it's a good time to do so. What's going on with the Federal Reserve? These are all questions that are normal things that, you say, well, I need to know this stuff. Well, not if you got a guy like Stewie. That's what he's there for. And Stewie got into this line of work to help people. That's it. He had a passion for it, wanted to start his own company. His son's working for him, and he wanted to help people. And when it comes to Stewie, he's got great programs like the Bagel Loan. If you're borrowing $200,000 or more on a loan, a house, you don't have to pay closing costs with Stewie. You don't have to pay lender fees with Stewie. It's not a gimmick. It is something he created to help you. So when it comes to Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation, he's absolutely the real deal. And he hands out his personal cell phone number for a reason. He doesn't want you sitting on hold or pressing a bunch of buttons before you get an opportunity to talk to the person that you have a question for. So give him a call on his personal cell phone number or text him at 314-324-4440. If you miss that number, you can always Google the Bagel Loan.
NMLS number 226715.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues will be back in action on Saturday as they take on the Buffalo Sabres. Pregame starts at 11. Puck drop is at 12, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. I saw on The Athletic, as I'm sure everyone did, that the Blues will be competing in the 2025 Winter Classic at Wrigley Field, going up against the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll dive into that as well as this Blues team after the All-Star break with our guy Joe Vitale. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Joey Vitale views things a little differently. Just imagine how he looks at hockey. Whoa! This is The View from Vitale, brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. It's our weekly chat with our guy, Joe Vitale. What's up, Joe?
What's up, fellas? Doing well today.
Now, Jamie went down to Mexico. I know you've got family obligations, but did you have an opportunity to kind of relax this week?
Yeah, there's no off days anymore.
Right.
Yeah. There's just on days. There's no off time. It's just on all the time. Yeah, too many little kids. And listen, I'm not complaining, man. That was my doing. That was my wife and I's decision. All good to go. We have to hang in with and live with the results of our decision.
There you go. That's well said. Well said. So the big announcement today, Joe, is that the Blues and the Blackhawks in 2025 will play the Winter Classic at Wrigley Field. When it comes to this matchup, great. When it comes to the venue, historic. This is shaping up, I think, to be one of the better Winter Classics that the NHL could have.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. I know certainly the players, they still get really excited about it. There's something about not only playing outside in front of all those people, but when you have it at like a monumental place like, of course, Wrigley, it makes it that much more special. I had the honor and privilege of playing in one myself at Soldier Field in Chicago, so the same city, but we played at Soldier Field, which, of course, again, that's another historic venue. I remember spending, I don't know, maybe $12,000, $13,000 on tickets, because, of course, Chicago, St. Louis was pretty close. I flew out. I didn't even know half the family members that I bought tickets for. Family members coming out of the woodwork.
I'm sure.
all kinds of money. And I tried to get the cheapest ones in that kind of middle bowl, upper bowl. And it turns out that was the year that it was that huge blizzard in Chicago. And they had to stop the game every 3 minutes. You randomly just be carrying the puck, and all of a sudden the whistle or the horn would go, and they'd bring out the shovels because you kept losing the puck. That's how much snow it was. And at the end of the day, I spent all that money for all those tickets, and all those people sat upstairs and just basically just watched the blizzard. They told me at the end of the game they couldn't tell who was who. They couldn't even tell who had the puck. So serves me wrong there. I'll never do that again. But, the Blues have had some wonderful historic games there. Of course, the one most recently, we froze our butts off up there in Minnesota a couple of years back. That one was amazing, and this is going to be a great thing, not only for the city of St. Louis, but also Chicago and the entire National Hockey League.
Joey, what is this moment? I mean, it's obviously a great game, but for a player, when you're playing in that moment, are you realizing the importance of it and how cool this moment is?
It's a great question, Carey, and to answer your question, I'll never forget our head coach in Pittsburgh, Dan Bilesma, when we were about to take to the field, I guess you could say, at Soldier Field, and there was really no X's and O's. There was no, let's go out there and play a certain way. It was just go out there and enjoy this. Mm-hmm. Just go out there and enjoy it. And I think I could speak for all the coaches who end up winning or losing. I think it's the same thing. You just want to go out there and enjoy the experience, whether you win 5 or lose 5-0. Go out there and be a kid again. I mean, that's what's nostalgic about it is, we all grew up skating on ponds, skating outdoors, and, all the rinks that I used to skate up growing up here in St. Louis, Cokia Mounds, Grand City. Heck, even Kirkwood was an outdoor rink when I was a kid as well. So we had plenty of outdoor rinks. So just to go out there and just to soak it in, whether you play good, you play bad, doesn't really matter. just try to have some family there and just enjoy the experience, enjoy being outside. And it certainly is one of those memorable games I'll never forget, and these players will feel the same way.
All right, Joe, we were having a debate here. You being a native St. Louis, and what jerseys should they wear for the Winter Classic?
Man, I tell you what, I think you got to go with those Heritage Blue. I love those Heritage Blue. They bring them out, of course, on home games on Saturday nights. The old Bobby Plager looks. Maybe even go back a little more vintagey, even maybe a couple years before that. There's a really great jersey in the Blues locker room right now. Right when you walk in by the stick rack, you guys been there and seen pictures, but it's a little bit more retro than the Classic Blues, the Winter Classic Blues they have on Saturdays now. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit different yellow, I would say, tint, and maybe just a little bit different design on the blue. I would say you got to go something classic like that. But, the real question to me is always the one statement piece is what are the coaches going to wear? What are the coaches going to do? We've seen them wear those kind of old school Italian hats. We've seen toots in the past. We've seen cowboy hats. I mean, that to me is kind of the one area to keep an eye on. It's always a little fun to have with that. But like I said, I know both teams certainly getting excited, amped up, and going to be hosting, of course, Connor Bedard. He'll be front and center, hopefully, assuming his health next year and everything goes well. But just an electric player who is going to be continuing to become the face of the National Hockey League. So it'll be a great game, no doubt.
So, Joe, the Blues don't return to action until Saturday when they take on the Sabres in Buffalo. The Buffalo Buffaloes, as we affectionately call it because of our guy Chris Duncan. But when it comes to the second half in general, is there one thing that winds up making the biggest difference between the Blues being on the outside, looking in for a playoff spot, and, of course, being in?
I think it's a great question, and I know it sounds pretty benign or it sounds pretty cliche, but you got to come out of this all-star break and you got to punch in a hurry. You went on a nice 5-game run there, and of course you kind of maybe gave one back to the Columbus Blue Jackets, or else you won 6 in a row. But that 5-game winning streak, that puts you in a playoff spot. But we've seen it so much. Man, you lose 2, 3 out of break, you lose 3 out of 4. Maybe you only win 1 out of the next 3 on the road trip here, Buffalo, Toronto, Montreal. And you're kind of like right back where you started. And that's what's crazy about these winning streaks. As great as it feels and great as it is, and as much as it propels you in the standings, you won the other way and you're right back to where you started. Look at the Seattle Kraken. They ran off with 9 in a row. Then they dropped 5 in a row. And so they didn't really make up too much ground. So consistency is going to be the name of the game here down this stretch. They got 14 games before the trade deadline. So I think it's super important they come out, they establish what they need to right off the hop. And that way you kind of give your general manager a little bit of an idea of what he's going to have to do moving forward. Do I think he's got a lot of his mind already made up about certain personnel? I think so. I think he's continuing to look not only at this year, but more importantly, the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years and beyond. But at the same time, this is a general manager that always wants to be competitive, always wants to figure out a way to get into the playoffs. So can he figure out a sweet balance where you maybe add, subtract a little bit, but still make that playoff push? I think that's what they're going to do. But a lot's going to happen. Whatever happens here the next 6 or 7 games right out of this break is going to dictate a lot.
Joey, we had Army on last week, and I asked him about, getting some of those younger players time. And obviously you want to get them playing time, but the goal is to win. As a former player, when you're a younger player, how important is it to get that time on the ice just to stay sharp and really prove to yourself that you can play at that level?
Well, it's really important. And, this is one of the areas why I think that Doug Armstrong's been pretty clear about his message with, look at some younger players, Carey, like we see in Zachary Dean and Zachary Bolduc, 2 players in the minors who, first-round draft picks, guys you picked up in the first round where you're thinking, okay, when are they going to get an opportunity? When are they going to show face in the NHL? When are we going to get them some experience? But Doug's done a great job about his philosophy of developing, which I 100% agree with, is you keep those players down there as long as you need to until they really have found a good groove and they're comfortable down there. But also they got to figure out a point production. I mean, if you're a goal scorer, you need to be averaging around a point per game in the minors before you really have an impact in the National Hockey League. That's how I've always felt about it. And you look at any player that's made an impact in the NHL, they really do need to establish themselves in the minors at being a game production type of player. And right now, those 2 guys are not. The other thing to keep an eye on as far as a development standpoint, and this is something that happens in different ways throughout the league, but I think Doug's bang on with it, is you cannot anoint these guys too soon. You have to let these guys really grind it out. Take those buses, eat those pizzas at 3, 4 in the morning. Those 12-hour bus trips. I mean, as tough as they are, that is you're building something. You're building a fabric inside them. You're building a resilience about them. So when they get the opportunity, when they show face in the NHL, they're going to make the most of it. And I truly don't believe that a kid can really fully jump in and become what he needs to be in the NHL without going through that pain. Yeah, the Connor Bedards and the McDavids, those are the exceptions. But for the most part, across the board, I think kids really do need to know what it is to play in the minors hockey, to really grind it out, to play those 3 and 4s, to play those 3 and 3s. I mean, those are some tough games. But when you make it to the NHL, you've seen how they can really grab things a little bit quicker. And I think that's what Doug Armstrong's direction is.
Joe, good stuff. Enjoy the week, and looking forward to some Blues hockey. Listen to you and Curbs and the rest of the gang, Alex Ferrario, starting on Saturday.
Hey, I can't wait. You guys have a great day as well.
All right, thanks, Joe. We'll see you, buddy. Again, that's Joe Vitale here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We've got the bet the board, 3 stars a day, criticisms, compliments next.
Getting engaged or never insured your wedding ring? Insure your diamond at carltoninsurance.net.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for Bet the Board. Marsh, how did we do last night?
Yeah, everyone did really well except for you.
That makes sense. I almost took Kansas State over Kansas, too.
Oh.
That would have been nice. Yeah, but no, I went with the Avalanche. Lost in overtime.
Darn it.
Oh, well. So, you guys all won? I know we gave Jamie a winner.
What are you talking about? He picked the Islanders. It's his favorite team.
So he's going
I know we gave Jamie a winner.
every time.
All right. So, did we get anything from him? No. Okay. Carey?
Yep.
Why don't you go ahead and make Jamie a pick?
Oh, you want me to pick for Jamie? All right. Well, let's look here.
Or I can do it here.
Well,
He loves hockey.
yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm looking there. I'm trying to figure out
You know who he loves?
the
He
Buffalo
loves-
Sabres over the Stars.
No, he loves the Vancouver Canucks.
Does he?
He does love the
does.
Canucks. Yeah, plus 125 in Carolina. Perfect. He's not going to be mad at that. There you go.
I don't know. Buffalo Sabres, the Stars looked really good.
I think Calgary in Boston tonight, that'd be an interesting one, too, for Jamie. But no, we'll give him Vancouver.
Right.
Okay, so who's up next, Marsh?
That would be me. And I'm looking at this. Surprisingly, Winnipeg is minus 110 on the road against Pittsburgh. I'm going to take the Jets over the Penguins tonight.
The Jets? Jets?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's my turn since you finished last year.
Easy.
I'm sorry. I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks, minus 148 on the money line, over the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah. Kyrie going back to Brooklyn. Did he play in Brooklyn? Yeah. He's played a lot of places.
Yeah, he did. Yep. All right. Give me the Texas Longhorns at Moody Center tonight. They're taking on number 14 Iowa State.
Okay.
I passed on the home team last night, playing the big ranked team, and I regret it.
You taking the money line?
So I'm taking Texas. Yeah, what's the money line? Sure.
142.
Perfect. Done. Just win the game, Longhorns. So I got Texas over Iowa State tonight in Big 12 play. There you have it. By the way, if you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Marsh, what do we got?
Yeah, let's start with the 314 here. Carey, I just want to say how much more awake and alert you sound.
I appreciate it.
Seems as though that you have blended in well, and not that you were doing a bad job before, but you sound amazingly refreshed in the afternoons.
Oh, there you go.
I would. Those mornings came early, especially when Cardinals and Blues were playing on the West Coast.
You've never been a morning guy. I remember that even back in the day.
Yeah, I've always been a night owl.
Yeah.
You had to fix it, though.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Isn't there the thing it was a circadian rhythm and all that crap?
I don't know what you just said, sir.
Yeah, I said it though.
What'd you say about the cicadas? I hate those things. Those things suck.
This is supposed to be like a 20-year, 18 years cicadas this summer.
Not what I'm talking about,
They're
guys.
here.
But
and then I heard it's another group that come every 25 years.
Yeah.
And they're here this summer too.
What?
Good for them.
I believe. And I think I'm making that up. First time in hundreds of years that all the cicadas be out this
is
summer.
that good? That's not good, right?
No, they're really loud and they're annoying and the
I'm just thinking
everywhere.
I mean these things emerge from the trees or the ground or something like that, and they. I don't know. They've written a lot of horror movies.
Kind of like St. Louis.
This idea.
St. Louis people when the Chiefs make the Super Bowl.
Whoa,
I'm looking at you, Marsh.
You know I've been a Mahomie fan my whole life.
What?
I loved him at Lubbock. You know?
Tampa Bay Times says billions of cicadas will emerge this spring.
Yeah, okay.
And then Live Science says trillions of cicada will descend on the U.S. in a rare spring event.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
These are things you learn. 2 separate broods of cicadas.
Wow. They're brewing these things. You know what I mean? I don't like that. Well, they won't be here by this Friday.
No.
They won't be here by this Friday morning. because you can help heat up St. Louis during the 24th annual Hardee's Rise and Shine fundraiser. Stop by any participating Hardee's in the bi-state area this Friday morning. Grab a sausage biscuit or egg biscuit for just $1. Sausage McMuffin. I'm going to try to get Marsh to laugh at that very line every day this week when I read this. 100% of the proceeds of all funds collected with the help of Heat Up St. Louis, supporting people in need in both Missouri and Illinois. So you get to be fed, it's cheap, and you're going to help people out. Again, that's this Friday morning at any participating Hardee's. Find out more at 101ESPN.com.
Breakfast ends at 11.
Thought it was 10:30. Me too.
Yeah, I did too.
One sausage McMuffin.
Man,
you love that movie.
I love that movie. I love Hardee's. I'm a huge Hardee's fan. Give me some curly fries, a big hot ham and cheese.
Oh, yeah. Whew, some good stuff.
Man, those are so good. By the way, Jose Altuve reportedly just got an extension. 5 years, $125.
Oh, good for him. You want to do the Astros lineup here? Okay. All right.
We don't want to compare and contrast.
Carey wanted to do that earlier.
Rangers?
You're still losing a lot of that.
Okay.
They are World Series champions.
Diamondbacks.
You'll probably do a little better.
All right. They were in the World Series, right?
Yeah, they were.
All right. So you're saying we got a chance?
No. Yes, I'm saying you have a chance.
From the 636, Marsh looks like a cicada. Shut up with the Chiefs hate.
Wow.
Man, those things are ugly looking too.
Yeah, and you're a handsome devil. So
I mean, apparently not.
No, I think he's just angry, and you were cutting down the Chiefs.
Listen,
and we can't stand for that.
I'm not trying to hate on the Chiefs.
It sounded like you were.
The moon has them winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but then you started bringing up Madden, and they're not going to win because of the Madden, blah, blah. Just stick with the moon, man.
Stick with the moon?
Stick with the moon.
They are 19 and 1.
Yeah, the quarter crescent level.
I think it was a waxing crescent.
It's a waxing crescent moon in the something hemisphere.
Oh.
And when that happens, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are, 19 and 1 or something?
Yeah, 19 and 1. So, I mean, it could be 19 and 2, though. You never know.
Don't speak like that.
I'm just saying.
Not to this guy.
No.
What about his Chiefs?
Are you guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Yes.
All right, let's get to it. We have our 3rd star dedicated to Chris and his Abe Vigoda reference.
That was really good.
The Godfather.
I like that. Congratulations. Nice job. Like that one.
Good job.
Nice
Congratulations. Our 2nd star of the day goes to a man who is not in this country, but took the time out of his busy day at the pool with all of his drinks that he's consumed.
Yeah.
Jamie Rivers in Mexico.
Way to go, Jamie Rivers.
Way to play while you were out having a good time.
That guy can talk about anything.
Yep.
In any condition.
And our 1st star of the day. No one knows where he's at, but was he a part of history? Some would say so. The 1st star in the fast lane goes to the announcer at the football game that Stalter got crushed at.
Stalter on the fumble. Number 34, Stalter on the fumble. He doubled down. Stalter on the fumble. That jerk doubled down.
Oh, man.
Maybe some people didn't see it.
Yeah, they didn't know who fumbled it.
We're up by like 40, you know? You had to get one dig in.
Yep.
Because the kid that didn't return punts wanted to return a punt. I'm sorry. I didn't realize there's no punt team out there.
Oh, man. That's why the coach said don't grab it.
I don't know why I didn't realize that. I'm not on the punt team. All right. It's a fast lane. We appreciate everybody listening and tuning in today. Instant replay coming up right, about 5 minutes here. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.